But those old shows, fuck them in the ass. Pound, 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 pound. So, you know, that's how like DJs, remember that?
Yeah.
It'd be like.
So we normally don't do our OG recap on Twitch, and we'll explain what that is because maybe there's some people on Twitch that are not BDMs or don't know what the OG
Tampa
recap.
dude just figured it out yesterday.
Yeah. So,
I like that Tampa dude. I like that guy.
He's got it now, I think.
Well, we had a rough start, but we fixed it. I like that guy.
Every week we release an old show. About 4 years ago is usually the...
Right around 2017, 2018, yeah. I don't think we're in 2018 yet. Yeah, about 4 years.
And we release them chronologically in the fact that, we just go in order. So you'll hear an old show, and in front of that old show, we usually tell you a little bit about what we remembered, or usually it's just a mini show in front of an old show.
Yeah,
that kind of goes sideways after a while.
It's like going to a game night at your friend's house. It's like the chit chat at the beginning is where you find out all the new stuff that's going on with them, but the game night itself, standard game night.
Yeah.
So,
did I sell the sizzle?
Yeah, it's fine. And
how to do?
Sometimes there's comedians interviews thrown in there too.
Yeah. We throw in comedian
re-released.
interviews.
I mean, they're not new.
You know what's funny is my memory is so bad. So if you're like me, if you listen to the OG, if you're a BDM listener, and your memory is very much like a Daniel memory, you love it. Like, you get the value.
Show.
Your $2.95 is so value because when I pull up the notes for these shows and I'll read them, I'll be like, we didn't do that. Like, I have no idea what we did. No concept of time. So, like, every OG show is a brand new show to me, and I love it.
And sometimes we realize there's this weird cycle in life where you talk about like the same things, even though I know we talk about the same jokes, but I'm saying like eerily the same topics.
Yeah.
Or
they're
like
seasonal topics. Like November is abortion month for us.
That goes
it's
around.
Weird. Like December, normally we go a little hard on the Puerto Ricans. I don't know why.
So, anyway, speaking of the $2.95 a month, I'm glad you brought that up. For a while, I know we've
Your
been talking
hair
about...
in the chat room called it out. Your hair is anger hair.
Mm-hmm. He blew the pomp out.
Yeah,
this morning.
he blew he had
the product is gone now.
Yeah, I had no idea that I had no idea that somebody could actually control their hair's movement with their anger. It was impressive.
No, I'm not angry.
It takes on a life of its own.
But anyway, we decided we haven't really done any BDM housekeeping in a while. It's one of these things.
We've been pretty loose.
That especially on the BDM Facebook page, which is exclusively for BDMs only.
Yeah, it's a perk.
And it kind of has grown. I mean, how long is it? When do we start the BDM Facebook page?
I can find out.
You didn't listen to what I said. Not even a minute
memory.
earlier. I'm surprised I even remembered that I said that so I could reference back.
2013, 14. BDM
Do you
started
know the
2012.
only thing do you know what's funny is that when you
Group
say
created January 7th, 2015.
Okay.
Oh, when you say what's funny is when you say to me, when did we start BDMs? I always think of Brett Bushy saying that Clear Channel would sue us. No, it's just that's the memory that goes into my brain. Like that's the only thing I think of. I'm like, oh my God, we're gonna get sued, and I have to talk myself out of it.
So he didn't understand the incompetence of so much.
He didn't understand it.
But
wow, it's only been 6.5 years or so. Feels like longer.
It does, man.
So, 6.5 years is a long time.
It's a long time.
To have a private
It
Facebook
is.
page. And it's always been, if you're a paid BDM member currently, you get access to the BDM Facebook page. And in the past, we haven't really gone through it with a fine-tooth comb. And, it's not like we kind of left it loose. But recently, we're like, hey, we should, make sure that the non-paying members know if they're in there saying like, hey, you're not a member anymore. You got to be a current member to be in there. Give everybody a chance and because I don't want to just go start kicking people out blindly. Like we'd message them and be like, hey, your membership. I even saw when we put it on the BDM page that some people are like, oh man, I went to check my status and I noticed my credit card hasn't been valid in a couple of years. My bad, I would sign back up or whatever, And that happens.
This happens a lot. Like I'm in a group for like some car, like an Audi group. This is like years ago when I had my Audi.
Yeah.
And it's like a private group, right? It's like an ownership group, and I'm still in there. You know what I mean? Like it's like.
Dude, I went to check my status to see how you do it so Tony can inform people how you do it. And my membership had lapsed through a business card. Like it was kind of like a snake eating its own tail.
You've gone through 10 business cards since then.
No, I know.
Least.
And I didn't even know. So it happens and whatever. And that's totally fine. Like, and we just want, to make sure that everybody that's in there.
Because it is a perk to be a BDM, to be in a group. So we don't want people that aren't paying when you have people that are paying.
See, this
to be
is
in
when
there.
I get bummed out.
No,
this is when I take a sad turn.
Well, and
we're actually also using this for your addresses because we're trying to send you guys free stuff.
Yeah, like we do this because we enjoy it and we enjoy you and we want to do nice things for you and
and the like. Even what Samantha was saying as far as like it being a perk, and I really truly think it is like being on the BDM Facebook page.
It's a community now.
It's a community. It's a great way to market. I see a lot of people. They help each other out. They promote each other's businesses.
That's the best part.
And it's fine. Sometimes we're like, hey, can you not promote a business that's a direct competition from our sponsor?
Right.
But it's fine. We let things go. I 100%. Err on the side of the BDM because I appreciate every BDM in there. Like I don't know.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, why
how
wouldn't
much we? It's the BDMs that are our business, and I don't know. And like I know that the cliche and people say this in mainstream media, and let me tell you, they may believe it, but they know in the back of their mind their business is their bosses.
Yeah, they're
like when they say their listeners, like you're the only ones that matter.
Well, they're propped up by a corporation too. Like they have
the person paying signing their paycheck is ultimately the ones that matter. The listeners, they need the ratings, but you could get fired with having great ratings. Look at SBK.
Yeah,
SBK
somebody called in about that. We're going to talk about that in a future show. But he had top tier ratings.
We'll talk to SBK, but he's just the element of a corporation cutting.
It doesn't matter. At the end of the day, if they're cutting, they're cutting.
Yeah. So his listeners listened to him, had #1 ratings, still didn't matter. So ultimately, it's the person that employs you that matters. And to us, that person is the BDMs, 100%. They employ us. Not only do they pay us, but they also use our sponsors so much that the sponsors support the business.
Correct.
Because the BDMs use. I'm not joking. Brian Zymel from Streamline has never used a non-BDM. From a Tom and Dan, hundreds of...
Yeah, it's all BDM.
He's never had someone saying, hey, I listen to Tom and Dan on the radio, that's why I use it. It's never happened.
Yeah, we're not... It's not a thing. We're not blowing smoke up your ass. It's a fact.
Talk to Brian Simon. Call him on the phone. His cell phone is on his website. He's the nicest person in the world. He loves BDMs. He'll do anything for you guys.
Can we have him cover the song by Drake? You can call me on my cell phone.
He'll
probably.
He's like, I don't care about...
I like Erykah Badu's version of that.
Anything but the BDMs because they are the ones that use me. And and for most of our giant sponsors, and I'm not saying everybody matters.
That is how they feel, though.
Everybody on Twitch that subscribes matters. Everybody who's just listening and passively listening matters, yes. But I'm just saying the backbone of our business, if you're just talking about money, it's BDMs, right?
Yeah.
100%. So I appreciate every single one of you that pays us $1.95. Yeah. I really appreciate the $10.95, but it's all the same. You're a BDM, you're a BDM. You support the show.
Look, if you're contributing to helping us to continue, then we're all for you.
So we started this thing, and I told Tony yesterday, like, hey, can you remind everybody to put up, to make sure their address is correct? Because that's another thing. Because at the end of this year, we want to do a BDM Appreciation Week. I'm just going to tell everybody everything. I don't give a shit. We're doing this BDM Appreciation Week where we want to send BDMs prizes, random prizes,
for
big
supporting
prizes.
us.
For supporting, like,
big top tier type good ass shit.
I want to try to send out 1,000 things in the mail. Like, some of it's just going to be stickers and thank you notes from us.
Maybe some gift cards, some stickers. Just start as low as that. Maybe PS5s and get some goddamn TVs up in this bitch.
Yeah, we want to send like random BDMs,
brand new
huge
Xbox
prizes.
Series X up your ass.
And
well, not up your ass.
I'm gonna see if some sponsors will help me because they really appreciate the BDM. So I think they will.
It's also fun to do.
Yeah. So I wanted to make sure everybody's addresses were current.
We will be giving away tactical hats, fog machine, Tracy. That is also, you can win that, or you can win a PS5. Your choice.
And then also I wanted to remind everybody, like, hey, you got to be a current BDM to be on the BDM page. Just
it's just fair.
It's fair for
that was the original
BDMs.
rules anyway.
Yeah.
People have been sliding by for years.
And if I blame us, I blame me. You know, like I try to get in there and help people, but I don't go in there and make sure everybody's up to date or any of that.
And
but I do try to help you with your account.
We had the be cool bro stance.
I always
but
try to help
people
them.
weren't cool.
Yeah,
I'm always cool to them.
And listen, we'll work with anybody. Like I will, like if you're like, hey man, can you leave me on? I'm gonna sign up in a couple weeks or whatever. Like I had to. Yeah. I don't know. We'll work with you. Email, ask. What do you think? We're unreasonable?
No, you usually are emailing us.
I'll do anything for you.
We instantly don't say fuck you. That's never happened.
And by the way,
there is a way to make that happen though.
If you email Daniel and like,
I'll get back to you in a minute.
He'll get back to you every single time, and also he really cares about you.
I do.
And if you ask him like personal problem questions and shit, he'll answer you with heartfelt responses because he fucking cares.
I do. It's too much.
Now you ask me something personal, business wise, I'll respond faster. If you start asking me like,
start with the business.
I feel sad. I'm like, I don't know what to do for you. I can't help you.
Daniel.
I can't even help my goddamn family with emotions. I can't help you. Like that. Email Daniel for that. If you want some business something, I'll give out. Like I care, right? This is like I've never felt slapped in the face so much with like a couple. Someone in the BDM page was like, I haven't been paying for years, whatever.
Ha ha ha.
And then I'm like, wait a minute.
Almost braggadocious, even on the page.
But then I thought it was a joke.
No.
Because I thought it was a joke.
Helped this guy multiple times.
I'm not talking names or anybody.
Right.
But because, but then you laugh, and then I'm like, well, that's got to be a joke because I see this person like he constantly gets business and networks in our group from other people, and like
he's active,
I know for a fact like there's been business that he's gotten from us or whatever. Like
active member,
he's got to at least pay $1.95 to network,
the minimum,
to network in a group to make money. Like because if you won't pay $1 to make $2. You're horrible at business because every single person. This is write this down. Tom Van's business rules. If you can pay $1 to make $2, always do that. It'll never go wrong for you if that's a guarantee.
Yeah.
Or
if it's a guaranteed trade out, sure. Yeah. 1 for 2.
You always want to get
give me the 1 for
2 for 1.
2 for 1. Yeah.
Like if
give me the 2 for 1.
That's good.
Yeah.
Anyway, so I was like, no, the way, and then it's like, I haven't been even giving you guys $1 or even like $1 a month
for years. He said
for years, and then I just want to take and network and get all for free. Yeah. So fuck you.
Well, no, I asked
because that's
how it feels. Yeah.
Because if you paid $1 a month, $1.95 a month, our minimum thing, I would be like, that's fine.
So what's that? $24 a year?
Well, because it makes total sense for the networking fact of it, or you know what I'm saying? Like I don't understand what that is. But it's a slap in their fucking face.
Yeah,
that's what it is. Yeah. And it's like, well, fuck you. I won't even give you the respect. And I'm not emotional. I don't give a shit. You can call me piece of shit, call me dumb, whatever.
You're not wired like that.
You can be like, you're not entertaining. I don't want to hear you. That's fine. It's your personal opinion or whatever. Yeah. But if you like network yourself and use us and don't even show us the respect on a private, like you can do this on any other social, whatever, like you can call in the show, leave voicemail, like market yourself in any other way. That's fine. But the BDM page, we at least expect you to be current paying BDMs, right. $1.95 a month. And to do that is a slap in our face and horrible for your own business. Because
well, even beyond that, it becomes like some sort of weird, like fucked up area where the person in question is almost like doubling down. Like I messaged person in question and said, hey, you're like stealing from us. And this person was just like laughed in my face. Thought it was funny. I don't know. I am an emotional person. So the opposite side of this, the unemotional side, you saw that. The emotional side of this is just like, well, fuck, man. why the fuck am I doing this then?
Yeah.
You know, if you're not going to adhere to the rules, and if you say in one breath that you appreciate what we do and you enjoy it, then I would think that you wouldn't want to stress me the fuck out or make me sad or make me fucking angry. You know, because like I am that type of person, and it does trigger me. And yes,
and
I
you
am.
are stealing.
Yeah, and you are stealing.
It is our livelihood.
And it's not fucking funny when you know what it feels like to put your entire family on the line to leave and start something, then it is not funny to have somebody laugh in your face when you say,
I'm taking your product for free and making money off you. Fuck you.
If this particular person does some sort of construction work, if I went to your construction site and I fucking tore the shit that you did down to shreds and burned it down, how the fuck would you feel? Yes, I'm reactionary. Yes, I'm an emotional person. That kind of stuff really makes me sad. Not mad necessarily, but sad because I'm like, well, I tried to help you. I have gone out of my way to fix your BDM account, fix some problem because you got on the BDM group and started saying shitty things to people, started acting like an asshole, and then I went in there to try and preserve. Fuck you. No, never again. I'm done with it, dude.
Banned for life.
I got so much fucking health problems off of this shit. I'm trying to keep it between the fucking lines.
And then also in the BDM page, we don't want politics in there. And
it's one of the rules that's on the group rules.
But I want people from everywhere in there. I want the diversity. I don't want like to exclude one way of thinking or another way of thinking. I don't give a shit. I don't care. Like,
it's a neutral zone, guys.
I'll laugh at the fucking...
Unfortunately, there is no neutral zone because no matter what you do, somebody's going to claim that you aired on one side or the other.
Listen, I'll laugh at the dumb, Joe Biden can't remember shit.
I know.
I'll laugh at the fucking Trump shit.
Yeah, his hair's blowing
It's
away.
stupid.
Whatever.
We just don't want it in the group.
Dumb old thing, yeah.
We just
post it on your personal page.
Facebook is full of that.
Yeah, it's a cesspool of that.
We don't need it in the BDM group, and nobody wants it.
I don't want him.
I believe me.
No politics.
You may want it or whatever, but nobody wants it.
Here's another thing I don't want. I don't want any fucking COVID shit in there.
I don't want any memes.
I'm tired of it.
Yeah. I don't
want Kermit the Frog sipping tea with a COVID ball flying over his head. I don't want any of that.
And that's fine. I realize people like memes, and my wife likes memes. I have, whatever.
My wife likes memes.
Like, I don't understand
I like my wife.
Write your own thought. Like, that's fine. Whatever. I like people openly talking about all their opinions or whatever. That's fine. But it's like, the BDM page has always been a sanctuary to me of normal Facebook, which has become a hellhole. And I see enough of that shit on my normal Facebook, and so people like going to the BDM page and getting away from that. But I like having different opinions on there and different people that think different things.
100%.
Great. It's just like the BDM page. I feel like why does it need that? I don't think it does.
Yeah,
I don't think you even want to have that in there because there are tons of other avenues and other Facebook pages and stuff. You can go in there and to your heart's content, argue and yell at each other.
And that's what they're for.
The new thing, though, that
fine.
It seems so that sometimes that's not enough for people. It seems like sometimes even understanding the rules or feel like maybe you feel like your particular viewpoint is being squelched or stomped on or whatever. So then your way to fix that is to, I guess, go on the BDM page and like mix it up a little bit or something.
Or yell it out.
Yeah,
right?
I don't get that. I don't understand that. I wouldn't want to do that. I wouldn't want to test us. Like, I don't need that headache. Yeah. I don't need that because it doesn't. I don't want you angry. I want you feeling good when you're on there. That's why it's just easier to leave all that shit off of there.
And I'm not saying right, left.
No.
I don't want any of that.
I don't want
any left. I don't want any right or But if you have your opinion or the leaks in there, fine. I'm always gonna err on the hey, you support our show. I'll give you the benefit of the doubt. Because I really do think that
you're stealing. If you're stealing and then you middle finger me when you're stealing,
then
I don't know about that one.
Then get the fuck out because
that one sucks.
Why are you here?
Yeah, 100% disrespectful.
That makes me not. That's the kind of shit when you see it. That's the kind of shit that makes me go. You know what? Be easier just to work for a fucking company and collect a check and not fucking care about this shit.
Well, and let's talk about our company because
and also don't use our BDM group to take money from our other listeners.
Great. We just got something reported in the BDM group as we're on the show.
Yay.
Well, we rile people up with this. And I don't want to do that because I want everybody to commingle and coexist and be cool.
They reported that person's comment.
So the another thing
That's
too.
funny.
That is funny.
You know what? We're
Listen,
going to keep that one.
All right, we're keeping it.
We will help any BDM that needs help.
Yes.
If a BDM passes away, we will try to help their family.
Yes.
And by the way, I'm saying I mean the other BDMs because
Yes.
they see it before I do
They
because
do.
I'm not as vigilant and I don't know what's going on.
For the most
I'm
part,
a little bit
people
like
are
the
cool
Joe
with
Biden.
the GoFundMes, but we also don't need panhandlers that continuously ask for help.
Yeah.
That-
and we get some conflicting messages like
Correct.
buying a new house, but I need some, it's like,
Yeah.
it's weird. We get some weird ones in there.
Yeah. So
We just don't want you taking advantage of our
Yes.
good-hearted listeners.
and that's the thing. Like it comes to a point where like I'm fine with supporting GoFundMe's and I'm fine with BDMs putting that, but it's like when you do it more and more and more, it does. And then other BDMs think this way, and other people that are, by the way, 95% of probably the BDMs sit back and just like maybe make a comment on some things, but like are very passive in the BDM group. And what's amazing is the people that are the most like argumentative and stuff like that, we find out are not even goddamn
I know, you
BDMs.
son of a bitches.
You motherfuckers! I tried to give you the benefit of the doubt. You didn't even give us $1. What the fuck?
Oh my God, yeah.
How is that
I'll let you
possible?
start
You
shit
know,
if you're a true love BDM.
I'll give you a one meme a month.
One meme a month.
Because I'm not a crazy, but I'll compromise with you. Be like, I'm fucking you got
One meme.
Joe,
Oh my
Joe
God.
Biden a month. I don't give a fuck.
business veto.
I'm
My
saying,
God.
but then nothing. I think I'll cause the most trouble and I'll fucking do nothing. Anyway, I forgot what I was even saying.
Man, that's one of the hottest he's ever been. Yeah.
but it's
business department needs a mental health day.
It's just when you're, if it comes off as, just don't come off as you're panhandling in there because you are taking advantage of other
If
kind of
the only time you
BDMs.
post is to ask for money, just don't make the post.
Yeah, I mean, like, and also,
Or
like,
post on your personal page
Here-
for your actual friends and family to help
yeah.
you.
Here's what I would say because you know
Do I
that.
sound like a cold-hearted bitch? I don't know.
No. I'll help you. I mean,
It's infuriating when that's the only they never contribute
If
to
you've-
the group
right.
except to ask for money.
if you've done it, then I say, well, if you've done it once, you did
You've
it.
done it,
You
yeah.
burned your chain. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Or we've
But
helped you, yeah.
I don't believe, and look, when I grew up, we didn't have nothing, and that does not feel good. It's a bad feeling. But if you've used the group once, then I think you should move on next time because you used the group.
And they helped you,
and this
and
will
they always
follow-
help,
yeah,
and
they
that's
al-
the thing.
Yes.
well, that's why they always go back, and that's why
Yeah.
you take advantage is because you know they'll always help.
yeah.
You know, I've actually seen some people stroke checks to people when I knew they shouldn't have been stroking the check.
Same.
And I feel guilty about that.
Because
Yeah.
But I don't want to shit on anybody that's in
Trying-
need.
yeah.
I really
Yes.
do. And Tom's right. I do give a fuck about you guys to the point where my priorities are a little fucked.
so
I
but
don't want you to be
but the-
destitute and hurt.
Let's not let this taint the idea of BDMs because, like I said, 99.9% of BDMs that
The best.
I've encountered and met and talked to are great people and care about other people. And
Yeah, that's why they're giving money to these
are
people.
good. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, why do you think I'm taking advantage of them?
And
They're great folks.
we
These people
some-
give me everything. They're
Start a
cooking for me.
burner account and
Yeah,
start
they got money.
grifting
They're
for
giving
money.
me cars and let me stay at their house.
every day I think about, and I'm not joking, like I work super hard for this company. And,
I know you do.
And I make a lot of jokes, and and because it's funny to me, and I'd rather go comedy than anything. I always go
We
for the
always go
comic
for that.
response rather than anything serious or whatever.
Yeah.
But I 100% truly care about every single person that's helped us and use I make the jokes about
Definitely,
I'm rich or whatever. Like, I want to be rich, but it's not true. Maybe to some people or whatever, but
Well, it's an entertainment program. I mean, like, you don't
We're
have
us-
to defend
I
your
know.
imagination. I mean, that's a little weird.
But the truth of it is, we have a business account. We have some business credit cards. We've got some. It's me and Daniel. It's Samantha.
We're just like
it's Travis. It's Tony.
One
it's
step
Eric.
higher than an Etsy shop.
Yeah, and And we have a small company, and
Where's Butler today?
We make it. He's on vacation.
Vacation
Yeah,
again?
yeah, good. That's awesome.
They're ripping his house.
Oh, wait. He just texted me that he needs help with
He's
his
in the BDM group asking for money.
Yeah, he is in the BDM group, and I looked him up. He's not a member.
It's Bavis Tutler.
Bavis.
But we're a small business, and it's really small. Like I don't even know.
Yeah, your BDM memberships are our livelihood.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
when you don't pay your membership, you are stealing from us, and you're taking the food out of the mouths of their children.
Nah, they do eat.
Nah, Maisie's fine.
I got
man.
enough. I could make way less and still feed my kids.
Yeah.
No
Don't
problem.
say that.
Well, you just feed
Well,
them garbage.
That's the bullshit. The NFL players like, I gotta feed my family. You make $10 million
Or
a year.
I used to say this one too. I had to stop. Like, keep the lights on. It's like, they'll be
I can
all
pay.
right.
Yeah, I can pay
They'll
my
be all
electric
right. I
bill.
don't use it. It's pretty
For
efficient.
way
It's
less,
a pretty
yeah.
new.
I mean, I got a boat. I pay for a boat slip. Like
You are rich. Oh my god!
All off the back of the medium.
Oh my god! Bart Marek's here. Scared the hell out of me. I thought that was. What's his name? Travis.
Anyway,
We forgot his name. He's never here.
It's fine, but we are doing a BDM Appreciation Week at the end of the
fine.
year, and I'm working on, figuring out a way to ship a bunch of prizes to a BDM. So if
TV, Switch,
check your
Xbox, PlayStation.
Yeah, you got to sign on to the website.
Ooh, can I buy a pint to send somebody? Let me buy a pint.
we are going to buy
Let's give
some
away
cool
one
prizes.
pint.
Log into your account on the website, tomanddan.com, and then under account info, make sure all of your information is correct.
Yeah.
If you have any issues, email Tony at tomanddan.com. He can probably walk you through it. You might have to, I don't know, some of you guys are locked out of accounts.
Yeah,
you might have to.
It's relatively easy to fix. Here, I'll give you this last little bit. I'm not trying to complicate things. But the only issue that we do primarily have with the account, and this has nothing to do with anything other than we started this very early on. You know, like had we started this last year, we'd be fine.
Yeah. Well, we had to build this.
We had to build this when there was no such thing. So,
Yeah.
so if you
Right.
want to
It's
change your email
Patreon?
address, changing your
Yeah.
email address cannot. Patreon here. Okay, here's a funny story. Patreon was not Patreon. They had just started. They were almost like a Kickstarter version
Right.
of Patreon. They reached out to us when we were back at our old studio and said, hey, do you guys want to set up this thing? And we were like in the middle of working with Stripe and then working with our guys from DevOps to create the site. And we were like, well, what's going to be the bottom line here? The only reason that we don't have a Patreon today, we would have been on the bottom floor, like one of the very first podcasts with a Patreon, is because we couldn't, there's no way we couldn't let Patreon take that cut. If the Patreon took the cut of what our
they
members...
take it even more now. So if you guys sign up for
we've been
patreon.com/semantics, donate at least $2 a
Yeah.
month, because I only get 60 cents on the dollar.
Say, right? It's good to be honest with them. Tell them hey, $2 really helps us out. Anything is good, but $2 really helps them out. So in this particular deal, had we gone in that method, I mean, it wouldn't have worked. I don't know if we would have gotten off the ground. We needed to have it be independent. We needed it to be just you guys and us. We needed it to be organic. We needed it to be real with no middleman to take a percentage out. That would have not worked.
Yeah.
And then with what you're saying now, Sam, with them taking more, absolutely not.
And now sales tax or state tax too.
Wow.
Yeah,
I didn't even think
I'm
about
getting fucked.
Yeah, they and it's just going to keep changing as it gets more popular and better suited. So.
Yeah. So
that's why I started a Twitch account, guys. So give me all your bits.
Hey, well, Heidi in our Twitch chat room said she is going to up her Semantics Patreon.
And Norm, thanks.
That's
guys.
how it works. Thank you, Norm. Thank you, Heidi.
So we're working on some new stuff with BDMs because also, to be honest with you, we have to figure out how to do BDM events. In the past, it was very much we'd go and hang out at a place and the whole show would just hang out and hug and talk to hundreds of
Long
BDMs at a BDM
hugs.
event,
Take
super
pictures,
crowded, and take pictures with
I
everybody.
do those hugs
kiss your babies.
like I'm not going to see my
And just-
girlfriend. She get on an airplane.
Just hang out and talk with everybody. And so it's we can't really responsibly do that now. You know what I'm saying? It's because I'm
Believe it or not, there is still a pandemic. There are still people getting COVID. So we're trying to be
thought
safe.
you,
Now,
I
maybe
thought you
a
said you
year-
were having a pool party at your house.
maybe, small groups are fine. Like I'm vaccinated, whatever. I just
the Twitch fam.
Ghost.
There's I just don't want to spread around a bunch of shit. Even if we're all going to be fine, even if everybody's vaccinated, like I don't just want to spread around a bunch of shit because it seems irresponsible right at this moment. Who knows? 6 months from now or whatever, we'll do it again if we can. It's just like. We're trying to figure out other cool things to do, other ways to give back to BDMs, other value that we could add. We're talking about live podcasts for BDMs only. And we're definitely going to do that next year.
Yeah, Tom's in. We're going to plan it out. We're going to do it like we did at Hard Rock, but just a little bit more intimate, smaller, a little bit better venue for it, a little more connected, and so we can engage with the audience.
And we'll do multiple that and do other perks for BDMs. So it's constantly evolving, and we're constantly still trying to figure it out.
Group trip. Key West to BTM says, group trip, come to Key West.
So expensive.
I've
been looking up Airbnbs down there.
You get your wallet out. I would love to go to Key West. Is there anything else we need to tell these guys?
I'm trying to think of anything else coming up. Just make sure your account is the address is correct.
Yep.
And
if you have issues, you can hit up Tony, or if you forget to do that, you can always hit up me. I'll help you out.
And if you are on the BDM page, just check your account, make sure it's current. Like that's all we're asking. But we are going to go through from now to the rest of the year, and then. We'll message you before, but we will kick out non-current BDMs because it's only fair to all the paying BDMs.
It is, and especially the 1095ers, man. Those guys are pulling some weight.
Yeah. That does make a difference.
It does. I know. It's one meme. One meme. I'm not even a 1095er. Am I allowed? I'm not.
I'm
gonna sign up just so I can put one meme in there.
We do. We're talking about doing a little extra perks. I know that.
I'm gonna choose my meme carefully. Mine's gonna be Longhorns better than Outback. Change my mind.
I know people don't like it. They're like, we're all the same. We're all BDMs. That's true. But the 10 under. It's like.
Your wife's hair looks amazing.
She's
blonde now. I love it. It looks great, dude.
I noticed yesterday and complimented
her. How do you not notice? It looks outstanding.
Blondes have more fun.
That's what I'm saying.
Was she immediately suspicious that I was just like, what did you do?
Does Daniel have an earpiece in your ear? We should have done that Practical Joker style. And I'm like, now go behind the Angusa bottom. Impractical Joker.
How did that become so popular?
Hey, go up to the salad bar. Hey, go up to. This is what you're gonna do, Sal. Go up to the salad bar and sneeze on it.
They have their own cruise, and it sells out every year.
They got rich.
Yeah, but theirs sells out with just their fans.
And they don't offer drink package shit.
No.
They're making like $100K.
All that just to watch Sal sneeze on the salad bar.
How did that become so popular? Anyway,
people are dumb.
Good for them. I'm
happy for them.
Enjoy this OG show of the week.
Unless they're not paying for their membership, I kick them out. Even if it's a Practical Joker or Jiggy. We should talk to Jiggy. Jiggy, how'd that get popular? He's like, I don't know. They sign checks. I'm not going to say anything bad.
Yeah.
I suck their impractical dicks.
Oh, my God.
All right. Enjoy the show.
Okay. 3, 2. Oh, I feel like I'm like camping on a boat. I heard some ice in a plastic cup. Holy crap! My dad's here. The ghost of my father is here. Hello, Dad.
I'm drinking hot water because the listeners complained about my ice cup.
Whoops.
Really?
No, but you're a guest, Bart. You're fine.
Bart Marek here, Crystal Van here, the Bart Marek team here. That's an unconventional way to start the show. I understand.
We're trying new things.
Did it start already?
We're on. It started with the ghost of my father who's swirling around here somewhere.
Well, it started technically like an hour and a half ago. We were yelling this whole thing.
But it's Fun Friday.
Yeah, it's Fun Fridays.
On a Thursday.
Welcome to Fun Fridays on a Thursday.
That's confused me just now.
Yeah.
Well, this is airing Friday.
You guys are all over.
Wait till we get to Wacky Wednesday, Tuesday. You're going to hate that.
Man.
Oh, you're going to hate that.
It's real confusing. Like when the shows come out.
Oh.
Like, I don't even know.
Our clients ask us, when does it come out? We go, when doesn't it come out? That's our answer. That's
always
the worst
out.
answer. The worst answer is the answer I just
I'm
gave.
like, oh no, it's in. It's in. It'll be out though.
Always out, never in. Better out than in.
In and out. Write that down.
Okay.
Burger. Put a burger on the end of it. No chicken sandwich. Okay. We're here. We're queer. We're not going to disappear. Let's do this.
Uh-oh. SpongeBob looking out the window. Make that a meme.
Oh my God. Get
Okay.
it together.
Okay, I'm sorry.
Sponsors are
okay.
We
here.
have sponsors here. The Bart Marek team is here. Bart Marek,
Yeah.
Crystal Van. Hello, guys.
What's going on, guys?
Good to see you.
So houses, what's up with that?
What's up with that? What's up with
I mean,
that?
I guess we do really break the mold of the traditional talk show when we bring in clients to talk about what's happening. We just bring them in. We're like, let's talk about your life.
Yeah. The market has its like it seems a little bit less nuts than it started off at the beginning of the year, or am I wrong? Where are we at now?
Like it does seem a little bit less nuts. But I don't know
That's nuts.
if that's because there's less activity.
Okay.
You know, like we have some buyers that are shopping right now that are still having a little bit of a difficult time getting under contract, but overall we have less buyers, so it is less nuts for us
I think
right
some
now.
people gave up.
Yeah.
I think at the
Oh.
beginning
The
of
old
the year, I
give
think there
up.
was some people who put in 8, 9, 10
Never give
offers, and
up.
after a certain point, they just said, you know what, I'll just keep renting,
just
and I'll
wait.
just stay where I'm at. I'll wait for market to change.
So at the beginning of the year, everybody was trying, and then at the same time, and then obviously
never gonna get a house.
multiple. I mean, we were seeing
Lot
at
of
the
that.
height of the popularity or the demand. What were you guys seeing when you listed a house? Like if a house went on the market, what would happen?
Well, it depends on the price point, because what's selling real fast right now is the average marketplace, where it's somewhere between like 250 and 400. That's about where the zone is, where everything sells real fast. Don't get me wrong, stuff is selling now 500 and up real quick too. But when you start getting higher and higher, it slows down a bit. But I don't know, I'm trying to think of one really good example.
Well,
the most
I think
extreme.
when this first started for us, like was, I don't know, spring of 2020, we had a listing that we were going to put on for like 250, which I don't know if you guys remember, it's not that long ago that 250 was an achievable purchase price.
Right, right.
Yeah, for like a 3-2.
1,800 square foot.
surrounding
Yeah.
Orlando,
Orange County.
maybe, Orange,
Yeah.
Seminole County. You can
Okay,
get
school district.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, like not anything special. Well, a couple weeks went by, they were getting the house ready, and we saw the numbers start going up, and we thought, well, we were going to do 250 because that's what the comps told us we should do, but I think we should try for 275. And the seller was even like, I don't know, that seems a little crazy. That's like out of the range. I don't think we should do it. Well, we did. We went for 275 and we got offers up to 290. So that was really the first listing of ours that we saw that happen in real time for us. And it was interesting, and it made me feel bad for the local people. Like I felt, because it was an out-of-town buyer who had cash, and it, that's like common now. We're all seeing that everywhere. But at that time I started feeling really bad. Like people who live in this community, like saved up their money and like have built up this community, paid taxes here, and they want to buy a house. Now they're just,
You got to do what
can't even compete.
You got to do what like my dad used to make me do when we were going to like Walmart or something, and let me out early to run for the parking spot, and then I stand in front of it like with my arms stretched out to make sure that no Mexicans in a dually truck would whip in and take that spot. And he's like, "At least hold the line,
Yeah.
hold the line." I hold, and then I'd move, and he'd whip in his. It was a Sable. We had a Sable.
So, and correct me if I'm wrong, but it seemed
Mercury
like
Sable.
we got to a point in the past couple months where the market was so crazy that there would create these crazy bidding wars that would drive up the price to the point where it was so high the house wasn't even getting appraised at that price. So you'd win your bidding war. Like let's say you win it at like $395 and the house gets appraised at $350. Oh, now you got a problem because you can only get a loan
Right.
for the appraisal price, and that's where experience during this market comes in handy, right? So that you make sure that you're not bidding so much where the house is never going to get appraised for it.
Usually, if someone's winning a bidding war, they're making some guarantee on the appraisal. Or
Now
above.
they are. But when this first started, it was
No one did that.
There were deals falling apart left and right because an agent would accept for their buyer or for their seller, the highest price, but not necessarily the best financing or the best, terms in terms of, like he said, guaranteeing cash over appraisal, waiving the appraisal. So you do have to know not necessarily what's the best dollar amount to accept on a contract, but what is the best ability for you to close and get the highest amount at the end of the transaction.
That's from the seller perspective. If you're a buyer And it's gotten tough. And I'll tell you, Crystal and I have had a nice little niche business with the BDMs. And the BDMs are great people. They're our favorite clients. I swear, when we get leads who show up from like Google and stuff, it's a completely different story working with them. BDMs are great. And most of them are buying, like I said before, somewhere between like $250, $400. It's just about kind of the average price range. That's gotten real difficult to the point where used to be you could call us up and say, hey, I got pre-approved. And we just go start shopping and get a house a month, 2 later. Kind of like what Sam and Travis did. Today, if you call me up and say...
We got in right before it got nuts.
We talked about this yesterday.
We talked about you guys yesterday. We think you guys were like the last ones who got in before it went crazy.
Oh, yeah. Refi, take money out, buy some jet skis.
But if you
do not do that.
And then ride them in a retention pond. It's way more fun.
Like, I'm not anywhere near water, so...
Yeah, fine.
You take them anywhere, yeah.
I do have a pond at the front of my
Your house is giving you $50,000 for nothing. And it
didn't do nothing. And imagine, it's not even alive. Imagine if it were self-aware how much money it would give you.
You have to pay it back.
The garage kind of looks like a mouth.
It does. I open it up a bunch of times. I'm giving you money.
$50,000.
Wow.
Anyway,
I love you, house.
It's just gotten difficult if you're a buyer, and it's disappointing because, like Crystal said, we work with a lot of locals. People have been here for a long time, and they want to get out of the house they're renting or get into something bigger because they got kids, so they go get pre-approved, but they don't have a ton of cash. And you just can't compete with the guy who's coming in from New York or California who sold something for $1.2 million and coming in looking to buy something for $6 million. And they just throw down a bunch of cash and they're able to walk in 3 weeks later. It is tough.
I want to sell every home I have and live in a weekly motel. Thoughts.
They look like pretty fun.
Thoughts from professionals.
The front is painted, but you're like,
the
why
back,
is the back real bad?
It's brown. The front is blue and yellow. The back is brown.
I know which one you're talking about.
It's the
Why didn't they paint the whole thing weird?
Listen, you're not far off from what some people are doing now. They're selling to cash out while the market is high, and then renting to wait for it to come back down. And that's when people call us to ask our opinion on that or advice. That's
a tough one.
Bart's response is do what's best for you, but we don't have a crystal ball. We can't tell you when or if the market's going to tank. But I think a lot of people are waiting for a 2008 crash to happen, and there just doesn't seem to be. There's no evidence that that's
nobody is saying
coming.
that.
Yeah, there's a difference in that back then. Remember when investors had 3, 4, 5 different investment properties and the market crashed and they couldn't afford them? This is different. There's so many people out there that just want to buy something. And they just want to get into a house, and there's just not enough inventory to cover it.
And it definitely seems like in a world where you could work virtually, I know people are tired of hearing it, but it's like you see the red hot D of the United States, Florida, where we don't get freezes or any real severe winter weather. It's nice all the time, and we got beaches near us, and we got no state tax. And if you can work anywhere, you're like, well, I live in a $500,000 house and outside of New York or whatever, and like a 3-2 or whatever. I'll just buy a $500,000 house in Florida. I'll sell this one or whatever, or a $750,000 house, and I'll get way more bang for my buck and live, next to the beach or like 45-minute drive. And it seems like that is now you're competing with people outside this local market that has more money because they're able to sell their house for way more. And technically it's a downgrade, but for them it's an upgrade because they used to not be able to live in Florida because their job wasn't on the internet.
Somebody in the chat is asking, they're a single parent, and they said that they keep getting shown that they're only eligible for $200,000, but they have a great credit score. What should they do?
Buy a condo.
Okay, there you go. Buy a condo. They want a yard.
Condo.
That's the problem. They have dogs and they want a yard.
Talk to Brian first. I mean, that's looking online and seeing, just call Streamline because they'll tell you, they'll go over everything online with you and you send in your paperwork. They'll let you know what you can get. It's not, they don't charge you for that. So just guesstimating online with a broad amount of putting your information, you should talk to
Work
Brian
smarter. Yeah, you don't want to get in there and start dreaming.
Your down payment's going to matter a lot too. It's not just credit score. Credit score is going to determine your interest rate, but your buying power is going to come from how much cash you have.
How much money is there an amount or a percentage that you should come to the table with if you actually want the home?
Okay, this
All
is a
of
good
it?
question.
A little bit of it?
I don't know if I want to throw this out there.
It's tough because here's the thing. Bart and I don't want to
situational,
we don't want
right?
to deter any potential clients from ourselves, right?
Sure.
But we also want to be up front and tell people what to expect.
Right.
Because we do get people who call us and say, "Hey, I'm approved up to up to $250 on an FHA loan. I got 3.5% down." I don't want to discourage that person.
Yeah.
But maybe right now is not the best time
Right,
for you
right.
to enter the market
Sure.
because I can't get you under contract with that. I just can't.
Yeah, too hard.
Generally, what we'll see is
There's a robot outside, and he's
I
mad. I'm sorry.
Is it
He
coming
says he's
through
paying
on the mic?
BDM, so
Oh, it's definitely
Fine.
bleeding through on the mic.
Is it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, it's so loud.
One meme a month.
This damn robot's out there. What's he mad about?
I want 2 memes.
they're taking my jobs.
what I've seen that usually gets accepted if you're a buyer is if you're able to put down a fair amount of money and then also have an additional guarantee of cash above some price. Meaning, let's say you're buying a $300,000 house. You come in and you say, I got $50,000 to put down, but I also got another $10,000 to put on top of $300 or more.
Right.
In
right.
case it only appraises at $290,
Okay.
now you can bridge the gap.
See, that makes total sense
Yeah.
to me. Yeah.
Yeah, and without that, it becomes and like there's that's the kind of thing you need in an offer to even have a chance in this current market, right? It's like there's no like, for instance, if there is a $350,000 house for sale in Apopka, I'm just throwing it out there, right? And there's no offering 240 or 340 or whatever, or like $10,000 under. Like that doesn't. It has to be full price or above at
This
this point.
marketplace,
If it's on if it's a new listing, yeah, you can't come in under. And no way.
Almost everything we list sells in 4 days. That's the magic number. We list on a Wednesday and we're done by Sunday.
Gotcha. So there's still immediately when it goes on the market, there's offers.
Yeah, give the example of the Waterford offer we did.
Oh God. Okay, so this is the buyer that's been having some trouble because they're shopping right at like the most competitive place where they want the good school district and the 4-bedroom house and the backyard, and it's like I don't know 350ish.
That's the trifecta.
Yeah.
Right?
So a listing came on at 350. It was a 4.2 with a pool over in Waterford Lakes. They made an offer of 385. So it's $35,000 over, and they guaranteed $10,000 over a low appraisal, up to the max of 385, and they didn't get it. And I thought it was a really good offer, so I asked the listing agent to tell me, what were we up against, and he called me to say, it's a tough market, yada yada. I had 8 cash offers higher than your offer.
Eight.
That's
he had a
unbelievable.
total of 24 offers. And 8 of them,
24 off.
8 of them were cash higher than $35,000 over the asking price.
How many offers did we get on a Coe house?
Oh my God, like 35. That was a crazy one.
We had a house that needs a little work.
It needed some work, so
Yeah.
we priced it accordingly.
Sure.
And it was, I think we showed it like 100 times.
Yeah, it was
in
some
4
insane
days.
number. I think I posted on Facebook actually. It's
Yeah.
shown something like 101 times in 4 days or something.
That's
And
crazy.
it did need a lot of work. Like I'm talking like new roof, new AC, pool needs to be resurfaced, screens
yeah.
falling
No, so
down,
big money.
like water damage in the walls. Like it needed.
Water
got
damage in the wall. We have that
Yeah.
here.
Yeah, we do.
Yeah.
We're renters, though.
Still
It's
got
fine.
20,000
If
over
this
asking.
robot crushes me, just act like I'm not being crushed. Just continue on.
Yeah.
So, what's your best advice for someone looking to buy? What do you see most often? Is it just what it's always been, where people are looking to upgrade? Maybe their family's expanding or whatever. They want that extra bedroom. Are you seeing anybody like move away from the city and more into the sticks where they can get a bigger house for their money because they can work virtually? Have you seen that locally? Because I've talked about the people moving from around the country here, but like if you lived near Orlando, downtown Orlando, and now you work virtually, is there any? It seems like a smarter move to move your sell your house for more money and then go out to a cheaper location, a bigger house, and you get more bang for your buck if you're working on the internet
I
anyway.
haven't seen. We had that one couple down there in the south, like Osceola.
Davenport?
Yeah, down there.
Yeah, they went and lived. They sold their house and bought an RV, and now they're living on a friend's vacant property in their RV, waiting for the
that's
market.
that's one of many.
Ooh,
That's
I want
one.
to do that.
Yeah, but wait,
That sounds fantastic.
Bart's right. We really haven't seen that much of that because I mean,
Orlando's still pretty affordable relative to Florida and the rest of the country for the most part. I mean, that's why you see people selling houses up in New York for $1 million and coming down here and buying 600,000. And if you really kind of, if you think of Orlando, the downtown area is where you're going to have actually, you know what? Miami's probably a better example of this, where you have a center core and then it's really expensive there, and then it kind of builds out and gets less and less expensive as you go further away.
Yeah.
Orlando's a little different. We have the center, and then we have like little pieces like Windermere and then Heathrow and stuff. So it's kind of little
Winter Park.
sporadic.
Yeah.
But generally, it follows the same kind of bullseye method, where the further you go out, the cheaper it's going to get. But what do you, if you want to sell your place in downtown Orlando and move out to, I don't know, Ocala, you could do that and probably go get a bigger house, but it's going to be marginally larger and you could be that much further away. It's really just a matter of personal choice.
Gotcha. Yeah.
We have a couple who's selling a very large house out on the east side of town right now. We're going to close on them in about a month. And a big house, like what is that, 3,800 square feet?
42.
42.
Whoa.
And it's a relatively small family. It's 4. It's parents and 2 kids, and they're going to go into something a little bit smaller. And that makes sense to me based on what they had there. But generally, we don't see a lot of getting out of like the core or the metropolitan areas to go rural.
Gotcha. And what about like if one of our listeners is selling their house, because like pricing it is interesting because it seems like
You guys use a wheel for that, right?
Yep.
You write a bunch of random numbers on there and just spin.
No,
it.
it's funny because when we'll post some listings on Facebook, and we'll say we got 20 showings on the first day or whatever, and all the comments are, you priced it too low. There, you can't just pick a price out of the air and then expect it to work out. You can't take a $280,000 house and price it at $375 and expect
There's
that's
a process
gonna work.
to this.
It's not going to work.
Well,
You're
that's
going to
on-
have a bad appraisal. The deal's going to fall through. Like, we're here to protect our sellers
from
price it accordingly. Right.
So I was going to bring that up because that's what the average person thinks when supply and demand, and like basic business tells you, well, if there's that much demand, you could price it at anything, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Like you sell your house for $500,000, like one of the 17 will buy it, but
It'll sit there for years. And it's what happens when you way overprice something. Those are the properties that are on 378 days, and so they just keep going and going.
And
I've been watching the Palace of Versailles here locally, and I'm interested.
Is it listed?
No, I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I remember it sitting
Yeah.
abandoned for years.
Has anyone ever even lived in it?
I want to ask you guys about that because there is a certain psychology for a house that sits on the market for too long, where people think, what's wrong with it, right? Like, you say you overpriced it and it's on the market for, especially in this market, for more than 90 days.
That's funny.
Immediately, people are like, just scroll past it because they're like, something must be wrong with it.
Well, when I first started with Bart, if I saw something on the market like 90 days, I would say, well, that's kind of lingering out there for a while.
Must be
Now,
AIDS in
if it's 9 days, I'm like,
like
that's
something's
lingering
wrong.
out there for a while.
Right.
It's weird. What's actually more concerning is when a property comes on and off the market, like when it accepts a contract and then goes back to the market and accepts a contract and goes back. That's what you don't want. Generally,
Yo-yo dieting.
right, if you price it well and the house is in decent shape, then you probably sell it in this marketplace within a week to 2 weeks. If it goes longer than that, either maybe you overpriced it, or maybe there's an issue with the property where you're going to have trouble financing or getting insurance on it, or just needs a lot of work. That's typically the way that goes.
Gotcha. So it's like actually, it hurts you to misprice your house when you put it up for sale because of these things that could end up, you could get less by doing that.
You get less, and then everybody's expectations are not met.
I got one last question from our Twitch chat room, twitch.tv/TomandDanLive. Christine asks, some of the houses around me have sold very high because of the market. Is that going to screw up comps, or does it benefit me that these prices are going up?
Well, so is that a homeowner?
Yes.
Okay, so are you going to sell your house? It does you no good. Like,
It only does you good if you want to
Yeah.
move.
Yeah,
If you want to finance or get equity out or sell the house.
right, like if you plan on living there for 15 years,
love jet skis.
whatever's happening in the market right now,
Not gonna matter.
it gives you peace of mind, maybe, that like if you had an emergency, you could take a home equity line out, or you could sell and you would make your money. But if you're planning on staying, equity's only good if you're going to spend it.
Yeah.
That's what I tell my wife when I want to drain everything and just go crazy, go psychopath.
One of the myths that we've run into quite a bit in the last year that I thought's been kind of interesting is the way people have approached us and said, well, you guys must be doing really well in this market.
Yeah, they're like, oh,
It's
you
like,
must
"Here,
be
you must
killing
be
it.
getting rich off all this. And you got to understand, half of our market has gone away. Like, we used to do equal buy-sell side. Now the buyer side's dwindled, and the sell side's come down quite a bit.
Yeah, this is not good for you.
It's not a great time. No.
And each buyer is like 10 times the work now than it was before, because you gotta try so much harder to get them under contract.
Right.
That yeah.
It's not a balanced marketplace.
No.
Like we have an imbalance right now, and honestly, and we're talking houses, and if you're not interested in buying a house, then I guess you're like, oh, boring.
Fast forward.
But you guys having the experience in this market is really where it counts, because if you use a realtor that doesn't know what's happening currently and hasn't had experience of buying and selling houses, then they're going to do it like they did pre-pandemic, right? They're going to be like, oh, this is the way it's always been done. Well, that's out the window.
Yeah,
you
don't
want that.
So apparently what this imbalance in the market does is get a lot of people to go get their real estate license.
Oh,
because
yeah.
I'm telling
no.
you, and Bart has a particular thing about not poo-pooing on other agents when we come in here,
No,
which
you
I
guys
totally understand.
No,
'cause
you guys are pros.
Listen,
and
a lot of
yeah.
people are out there working really hard and they're great at their jobs, but currently, like all the deals that we've been doing lately, the other agent has like 1 or 2 deals under their belt, and then we sort of have to drag them through the transaction and
Yeah, you
tell
got to
them
do their job.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah,
like and they screw things up and they tell everybody the wrong information and
Or
we
they
have
don't
to
schedule
correct
things,
it.
or-
They don't schedule things.
Oh my God.
It's like it's like you're babysitting the other side. Like, are you meeting your deadlines? Are you on top of things? Where's your loan commitment? It's really a pain in the ass.
Standing in the parking lot before we walked in, I was talking to Crystal about an agent we're having an argument with over the price of a survey, and this woman has no idea what she's talking about. I'm like,
she's yelling at us about the price of the survey, and I'm like, your buyer chooses the survey. Like,
You're
your
right.
client is the one who picks
Yeah,
picked
I
the
didn't-
survey company. This is not me. Why are you yelling at me? I don't understand.
'Cause they don't have
she
any
has no
idea what
idea.
what they're doing.
Actually, this same agent has requested that we give her 24 hours to respond to any communication that we have with her, which is not how it works in real estate. Like, it's within the hour or 2 hours, you should respond to somebody. But anyway, she called me one day and she's like, sorry, I'm on break at Amazon. And, I'll get with you later when I'm off.
I'm
my
peeing
God.
in a jar.
I was like,
Oh, I'm getting frisked. They're making sure I'm not stealing into the Amazon brand batteries I've been stuffing in.
Those batteries are
She
terrible.
was-
Terrible batteries.
She was in training and like, not anything against her,
Oh,
but like,
no,
she sounds
she's
like an old
obviously-
lady.
She's trying to hustle, man. She's
Yeah.
working her ass off. That
Yeah.
poor
No,
lady.
she probably is. But you know what?
Aw.
If you don't have time to do this job, like, you're holding a lot of your client's best interest in your hands. Like,
Yeah.
you cannot do a bad job at this job, and if you don't have time to do it, you shouldn't be doing it.
Yeah,
you know,
you're
like
screwing over people's lives.
Right? They want to get in and sell one house for their cousin or whatever, and then make the commission, and
This
then never
sounds-
look back. But that's not.
That's what I want to do.
This sounds exactly like
That sounds awesome.
This sounds like the
I want to
meeting-
get my license.
It sounds like the same meeting you had with Butler yesterday, where you're like, you're playing with people's lives.
Because I think the stereotype is like, oh, my aunt's she's got a real estate license. She works at Amazon. I'm like, I'm going to throw her a bone and get her the commission. She's had 2 deals. One of them was in 2012, and
That's a good year, though. That was a good year.
And then she did a couple before the pandemic. She had no idea what to do in
it's
this
different
market.
now.
She'll never land you a house. She's going to go in there and be like, we'll offer them $15,000 under asking, and we'll ask for
Yeah,
repairs.
that's-
It's like, you'll never get nothing.
That's another thing. Like, I'll as the listing agent, I'll have the buyer's agents calling and saying, "Hey, I just want to, connect with you and chat about my client." And I'm like, "Honey, I got 18 offers. I'm not going to remember you."
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to be rude, but
I
now
like the honey on that.
It used to be that you'd call and make a connection, right? And you want to like develop some sort of rapport with the other agent, and these people are coming in with a full price offer. That's not
but we
going to
still-
cut it anymore.
We still do kind of do that. Where when they're sending the offer, and if they're an idiot, well, I'm like, oh, I don't know, put that in that pile, But if you're able to,
The idiot pile.
no,
if you
I'm
get,
saying
you get 20 offers, and
Bart's trying to
Here's
get
the point.
BDMs the house. So
Yes,
he'll do whatever.
yes.
He'll manipulate the idiot to get you the house. That's all I'm saying. You don't want the idiot working for you. You want
That's
Bart.
not my point. That wasn't my point. My point is that agent who's doing that is doing sort of an old school method and coming in with just full price and nothing else.
Yeah.
And when they don't get it, they call me and say, "Oh, Crystal, what happened? I thought things were going well. Why didn't we get it?" And I'm like, "You have no idea. You gave me full price. Like, that's not going to cut it right now." Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But they just have no idea. So it's a disservice to their buyer who they're trying to work for, and they're not
Man,
doing
they're probably
what it
hanging
takes.
their dreams up too, right? Like they're telling
Yeah,
them
they're
it's
like, oh,
going
you made a
good.
great offer. I talked to the agent. She was really nice.
I hate
Well,
that.
guess what? That's not what you need to be doing right now. That's not what it takes. And you don't know that because you're not out here doing it every day. That's my point. I'm out here doing this every day. And Bart and I know what kind of offers are going to get accepted.
Yeah, Tom. Jesus, what the hell's wrong with you? You
I'm
idiot.
just saying, like, you get a person out there who's not been doing this for very long, they're not going to do the best job for you.
They're not. And you also hyper care
I hyper
because
care
it's like a
to
sickness
where
you
I
have.
don't sleep
Yeah,
at night.
I know. I know you do.
I'm gonna make a statement, and
Oh,
this
no.
has nothing to do with Bart and Crystal.
I don't
They're
like
not
it when
saying
you
it.
say when you say that. I always want to leave the room until the statement's over because I don't know what he's gonna say.
If you are an older realtor that doesn't do it full time, and I'm going to throw out the age of
This-
60.
Hey.
If you're over the age of
I
60.
need to say, Bart
Huh?
and I have nothing to do with whatever you're about to say.
Well, hold on.
I'm
I'm married to you.
What
I say
hap-
this in the house.
Crystal,
I did not say this in the house.
Crystal is Jerry. Why didn't we get it? I put my offer in. Why didn't we get it, Crystal?
If you don't do it full time and you're over 60, you don't have any idea what you're doing.
TC, it has nothing to do with age.
I'll bet $100
Listen,
on it.
I'm
Some-
here doing a showing, Crystal. I locked
Proof.
myself in the bathroom.
If you're over 60, you don't do
No,
real estate
I
full
disagree.
time.
I disagree.
Oh,
There,
I like
age
this.
has
$100
nothing to
bet.
do with it. Some older agents that have been doing this a really long time, they've seen the market ebb and flow throughout the years. They know how to adapt. But if you're not doing it full time, I'll agree with that part. Then you're gonna have a more difficult
No
time
email,
servicing
paper
your
only.
clients.
Over
I think some of the
60
top producing agents in Central Florida are older.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, but
they've been doing
through,
it a long
They've
time.
been through a lot.
Yeah,
They've
but
seen
they're-
this before.
There's that, yeah, but
I was
they're
here for the Spanish flu.
and I'll say I'll be ageist on the other side, under 30. The same thing, same thing. You don't know what the hell you're
You
doing.
need a
Everything has
sweet
to
spot
be
in the
definite
middle.
with you.
Yeah.
Everything with it was definite.
Oh, I know.
It's
31
like,
to
if you're
59.
this age and this age, you're optimum for doing it.
And
if you're not, go kill yourself.
Yeah, right.
Oh my God.
I'm just,
Jeez.
generally, that's what makes sense to me.
I don't like old people either. I'm
They're
with you
fine.
there.
They
Remember, I'll follow you to hell.
Yeah. I'm just saying, and this happened to me cognitively. Like the experience, like you have a lot of experience, but you can't remember it.
You had a lot of concussions.
I know.
That's true.
Right.
I
If
walk
I could remember how to handle this during the pandemic, I'd be selling houses.
Listen, I'm slowly dying. I walk into the garage. I'm like, why'd I come in here? I have no idea. And then I walk around. I'm like, I still don't know.
Well, you're
And
high.
I'll never know. All that
Yes.
doesn't help.
I did something yesterday for the first time. I started trying to navigate Apple TV with a pair of glasses on and a pair of glasses on my head. I had one prescription pair on top and one were on my eyes, and I'm like, oh man, it's a bad.
I was pointing my phone at the TV with the remote control app on.
Oh my God.
Right, like it's Wi-Fi.
Oh man, that's a bad one. That's a bad one.
And my sons called me out.
Oh,
They're like, what are you pointing at? And I'm like, oh
idiot.
yeah, I guess.
Well, they're digital boys,
guess
man.
I
You ain't
don't
got a
need to-
chance with those guys.
need to point my phone. Like it just
It doesn't work like that.
it goes through some other way. I don't even know. Anyway,
magic.
so any other things as we close on houses? Then we'll get into some other politics. John Gruden, all that stuff.
I don't want to get into politics.
Oh, okay. Is that what this is about?
I don't want to paint a picture that scares people away. Give us a call if you got questions, because that's the best first step if you are interested in buying. Selling houses is really more strategic right now. We can definitely help out anybody who wants to do that. If you're looking at buying something, give us a call. Maybe we can work out a plan. If you got cash and great financing, then absolutely. If you don't, maybe we can talk and see if we can help out.
I would like to do an open house where I give away some cookies and then invite my nosy neighbors and some homeless people in there.
I like that idea.
That helps a lot.
But do it where you have a showing where you're giving one tour at 1 p.m. and then have everybody show up and then go, the doors have been locked. We're now going to play an escape room game. And then do an escape room
Oh,
for
Squid
everybody
Game.
to get out. Yes, then do Squid Game.
Oh yeah, watch the beginning of first episode.
What did you think of that? Did you guys watch it together, right? Like, what'd you think?
I prefer the dubbed version. Who's with me with that?
Yeah, I like dub.
Oh, yeah.
I like to hear
The acting
Well, you
is-
can't read.
The acting is so bad on the dub.
See, I don't think it is.
See, that's how I feel.
Everybody appears, but I think
It's
maybe
like a goofy white guy's voice.
I think it's because I think my acting is good, so that's why I like the dub.
What do you want? The stereotype?
That's typically why I can't do
No,
dub stuff
but-
either.
I wish they had the voiceover guy.
The emotions don't match the face.
Super.
Right.
See,
Yeah.
I think they do, but maybe I'm the weirdo because like I thought I'm the weird thing is I'm the 180. I'm like I think the voice acting is really good. I've been saying that to people, and then everybody else is like, "Nah, man,
It's
it's
just
terrible."
opinion,
I'm
yeah.
like, okay, well,
Should you give him an Asian accent? That's my only thing. It's like make it a
well,
little.
it is a little weird when the guy's long samurai hair and he's like, "What's that?"
Yeah.
do the Squid Game, bro. Like, what the hell?
Just make him give him.
Well, the one guy's
Asian
hey,
American.
darling, and I'm like, hold on, hold the phone.
Yeah.
What are you doing?
All right. So, and the easiest way to contact you guys is just on the website. Your cell phone numbers are on
Yep.
there, right?
BartTheRealtor.com. I think Crystal the Realtor.com.
Why do you look so sad?
Maybe
now?
we
You
gotta
okay?
No.
talk to DivUps about that.
Do we want to talk about how before the show you were yelling and screaming and your wife liked it?
Oh yeah,
Oh yeah.
I did.
I had-
Hey, Sam liked it too.
I had Tuttle.
I've been waiting for
I
Angry
almost
Tom.
called Butler. I combined Butler with Tuttle and I called him Tutler.
Butler really liked
Yeah,
it. Like,
Butler wrote it down to talk about on Friday.
Why do you guys like that?
Because it's emotion.
Yeah.
yeah,
it-
like you're
I
just
liked
like a
it.
We know you're real now.
Yeah.
right,
Yeah.
like you're just a blank piece of paper
You're
over
not-
there most of the
You're
time.
not vanilla. You know what that was, buddy? That was mint chocolate chip, and I liked it.
Little flavor.
It was a little flavor, man. It's some crunchies in there. Got some texture. I like it when you get spicy. I can see where your wife would find that attractive.
It's
It
passion.
Poofs your hair up. Your skin turns bright red. Anger.
Oh, you're excited about something.
I know, right?
I want to ask Bart a question.
Oh.
So,
See, he deflected, and he
Yep.
he's like, "This is getting too uncomfortable for me because they're giving me compliments, and I'm gonna go to Bart, go to my safe
Don't
space."
talk about me.
Avoidance.
say you had a mother-in-law with some birds, and
God.
Oh, man.
and your wife's like, "Can the birds come over while?"
I already
my
wrote a song
mom-
about this. I haven't even put it out yet. I wrote a bird song.
Well, my mom, redoes her house, and it should be, they just have to knock out all the tile and wait till like the loud and all the.
They haven't even come over yet.
It's coming.
He's a
The birds are coming.
I
he
saw
said.
them
what they
pop.
say?
The ad campaign for these birds, Crystal, is better than the HBO Game of Thrones ad campaign. Winter's coming. Like this whole thing is the birds are coming. The birds are coming. The chat room is anticipating it. They're waiting for when the birds are there. They want me to live stream them coming to the house.
You know, they say like number one cause of stress is worrying about things
birds?
that are going to happen. No.
That's the funniest thing ever. Number one cause of stress is birds.
I'm just.
You're worrying about something that's not even happened yet.
Yeah, but
and
he
you're
knows.
stressing
But I
about
know
it.
what's gonna
Yeah.
happen.
Others are
Worry
coming.
about it later.
Everybody screams like, "You don't know what's gonna happen." I'm like, I know.
He's done the math, the
Yeah.
bird math.
And
I mean,
because
I feel like these things come in triplicate too, right? It's like Louis Armstrong doll, 3 birds. What's the next thing?
Hey.
The next thing is gonna be like you're dead or you're tied to your bed. Their
I
house
told
is
Crystal
burning.
about that, and she hid it. Which I'm like, well, someone
Don't
finds
put it
now
in the
it's
closet.
worse.
You put it in the closet. I open to get a dish towel. He's standing at the bottom singing at me.
I love Louis Armstrong. You know, the first song Tommy ever sang and the
Yes,
first
I
book
know
he
this.
ever read was Wonderful World, and he
Yeah.
sang it to his preschool class when he was like 3.
Yeah,
It
but
was so cute.
I didn't understand all the deep,
I
the
love
deep
all his
politics
music.
into like like he was doing that in a racist time.
see racist
I know.
And
Oh,
yeah. Then
God.
that's it. Like
I didn't know. I'm sorry.
There's a shucking and jiving thing, right?
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
like people had to
Performative,
do. And then that whole thing is like we shouldn't look at it.
Don't
put
look
a
at
towel
it.
over it.
Well, wait a minute. Maybe put it in with the birds in the cage, and then
No,
it's
that's
fine.
worse. Now the birds are pooping on it. They're like, what does this mean?
No, they would
They're
like
gonna
it.
peck it to death.
They would like it.
Anyway, so Bart, say this is my main problem because if I
is my last resort. I thought that's what you're gonna do.
Yes.
Suffocation. Unmurdering.
so if I had a accurate timeline, then I would be like, all right, I got 5 days with the birds, right?
Yeah.
Like I'll
Like a
plan it out.
countdown.
Like Tuesdays with Maury.
I'll go to True Leaf.
5 days
I'll
with
stock up. You know what I'm saying? Like I can get through it. I could.
it's gonna be 3 weeks. I just don't know when it's gonna start.
Jesus Christ.
Bart's out.
I could not listen to that.
You don't. They don't scream if you're paying attention to them. Just like me.
Wait. That was a joke on herself.
Crystal.
We won't kill you if you stop at red light. It's your fault. Anyway, see, here's the
3 weeks is hard, man. 3 weeks is hard.
You're saying 3 weeks,
But if
because-
anybody can do it, you can do it.
Well, now I'm even more worried because that's what contractors told your mom. Would you
No.
If I know contractors,
You
about
don't.
the 3 weeks, that's,
They don't pay for their BDM memberships. I know that.
they're-
No, that I came up with 3 weeks because that's how long it took to do our floors and kitchen. So that's what I.
Well, hold
assumed.
on. The demolition only took 1 day. I saw those guys. They were in and out.
Yeah,
they
they were
didn't
pretty
give
fast.
a damn. The smoke alarm was going off.
Yeah, but then there's no kitchen. So like, where are the birds gonna get their water? And their fresh vegetables.
Oh my God.
Fresh vegetables. Oh my God, I don't even
They
my
get the
dog-
Guardian water,
I
service water?
swear to God, I scoop my dog's water straight out of the doo-doo hole, like right out of the toilet. I'm like, there you go. It's fresh. Fresh as a mountain stream,
Yeah, but
just
that's
like
a
God
dog.
intended.
A bird is more delicate.
I don't know. They're
Are
killing
they
machines.
dinosaurs?
I thought they're killing machines.
I thought they were the most tough.
You're not wrong.
They've been around forever. That bird. Wait,
They
you
live
have one-
outside.
Wait a minute. They got to be the toughest because don't you have one bird that's 118 years old? Like Ginger has been singing Mariah Carey before Mariah Carey
No,
was born.
it's Bubba, and she's like 45.
Yeah.
I'm 45. Oh my God.
It's got a big
God.
dog, the bounty hunter liver.
Oh, she does. She has a fatty liver. No joke.
I know.
We talk about it all the time.
That's why she has to have her fresh vegetables cut.
I need fresh vegetables because the doctor says I eat too many almonds. I got a fat liver.
It is no joke, but every
Like an old
time.
redneck coming out on the porch of. She needs like a tiny trailer that she can come out on and be like,
Don't blame me. Ain't my president.
It's no joke, but every time I mention it, everybody laughs.
Right.
So it's got to be a little bit funny.
People don't believe that birds can get fatty liver disease from eating too many almonds like we do beer, right?
Yeah.
It's the same thing. Ice cold Coors almonds.
And then her feet get all crusty.
No, I wouldn't do well with the birds for 3 weeks.
Well,
You'll be fine.
Crystal and I have actually talked about this. I've explained to her, like, I sold her Charlene that house.
Yeah.
yeah, no, I know.
And I remember it was a requirement to have a room to put the birds in.
I need a bird room.
Yeah, because listen,
Well,
you guys
should see the one they built now. It's nicer
It's
than
nice.
Some BDMs that don't pay apartments. Take that. Feel bad.
He tried real hard.
Anyway.
Don't feel bad.
So I'm just concerned because the 3 weeks is a rough estimate, and
Listen,
I know how
in the grand
contractors.
scheme of your life, it's going to be a blip, and it'll be a distant
Loud
memory
blip.
one
You've
day.
seen the way I live.
Loudest blip
Listen,
you've ever seen.
you're always complaining how fast time rockets by. So just think of it that way.
If you're
It's
present
gonna
in the
rocket
moment,
by.
she's right. If you're present in the moment, though, then you'll be able to enjoy it a little bit more. And don't your boys love these birds?
No, they bit Max's fingerprints
Okay.
off, and
All
they're
right.
scared out of their minds.
Okay.
Well,
Well, birds can be like I had Peanut on me one time, and I did question the fun that you can have with Peanut because once he got on me, everybody's like, "Oh, look, Peanut's on you," and I'm like, "Awesome! Look at me, I'm the bird guy," and everybody's like, "Don't
be
move at
careful."
all. Don't, you just got to
It
stand."
sounds like the traumatic
move-
childhood experience that Tom had with the Rottweiler.
And that's what you guys told me.
Don't
You're like,
move.
don't move, or that thing is just he'll bite your big nose off. And I'm like, okay, all right. Does it like me? I'm like, this is a good thing, right?
They like to sit really close to your jugular.
Yeah, so they're like
my
right,
God.
Breathe in your ear.
Yeah, they're right there. This little, and it's got a little jet matte black tongue. Its tongue is matte black, like a matte black,
Yeah.
like a devil.
yeah.
Who's got a black
You know
tongue?
what? Well said.
The devil.
Exactly like the devil.
And
And
it's
then,
hard as a rock.
but if I move, is it gonna bite me? Is that what?
No.
Then why were you guys telling me to not move at all? Like
because
you
it'll bite you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like,
yeah.
I'm trying to just figure out what
Was
is.
it Bubba though? Because Bubba's the one who'll bite. Peanut is not.
Maybe it wasn't Peanut.
No.
Whatever it was the bird that you guys told me don't move.
Well,
this
that
one
was
doesn't
Bubba.
like guys.
She's mean.
Well, then she's
Doesn't like
mated
guys.
with Peanut now, and they live in the same cage, and now they're laying eggs for each
can you
other.
eat the eggs?
No. Like,
What do you do with them? Flush them down the toilet?
That's a good question. What does your mom do with the eggs?
Don't.
Oh my God! Look at the roof. There's a farm up there. She's growing 1,000,000 birds. Like underneath her, it's like a house of 1,000 corpses. There's 1,000 birds. She's down there dressed like a professor, and there's 1,000,000 birds, and they're all alive, but they're human
I
sized.
have to say something. My mother is a wonderful person.
I know.
And hey, no, but
She cares
I'm
about
not telling
animals.
you. I'm not telling you. I'm telling the people who are listening.
Yes.
She is a wonderful
Weird.
person. She's very caring, and she just wants to help everybody and everything. So she's not a weirdo bird person. She's a person who saw a lady with a bird who couldn't handle it, and she's like, all right, I'll take it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
She's a very sweet lady.
she's compassionate to animals.
Not 3 times. This is we've had a lot more than these 3. These
We've
are
had
the 3 we still have.
Garage
she still has.
cat. You know, she likes
Yeah,
animals.
she-
She
Yeah.
volunteers with the gorillas down in the
She
Lake Wales.
volunteers with the Center for Great Apes. Yes. She is a very caring person. And all of these birds were rescued from some other person who got a bird that thought it was a good idea and realized it wasn't a good idea. So I don't want you giving people the idea my mom does something weird with the eggs that get laid.
I'm
I
not.
would
She
eat them.
does not.
I would eat them.
Most of the time, the birds don't even know what's happening, and the egg falls down and crashes on the bottom of the cage, and it just needs to get cleaned up. That's all. It's not like she's taking it and putting
Well,
it in.
how smart are they? Like if they do it, what is it? Once a month? How long?
I
Wait,
don't know.
no, that's
Is it like-
memes. We got
What is
confused.
this like? I mean, like
Egg memes.
for 40 years, once a month, an egg fell out of you, and you're like, "What's happening?"
Well, no.
That would
You
be
can
you
sit
as a
where-
bird, though. Let's be honest.
Yeah.
You don't know what's going on with your body.
BartTheRealtor.com. It's the Bart Marek team. If you're looking to buy a house with a bird room, Bart's got you.
Yeah.
And Crystal
Well,
Van.
hey, I'd like to thank you guys for sending me the unsolicited pics last time I was
All
in here.
right.
No, that
We
happened.
kicked that guy out.
He doesn't listen to the show, remember?
Yeah,
No.
that guy hasn't listened in years,
Yeah.
and he certainly wouldn't use us just to get jobs.
They were all dogs. 1 cat.
Oh, that's into dog.
Yeah, they sent me their
Dog
pets.
pics.
That's cute. That's
Stupid.
awesome.
Well, I loved it.
Why
I
you
loved
being
it.
mean?
I'm just saying, it's,
When are you getting a
waste
dog?
of-
We'll end with that. When are you getting a dog?
No, well, we could have one, but it's got to be a Labradoodle, or
All right.
anything good.
You're so mean.
Like it's got to be
TC wants a dog from a breeder. I want a dog from
over
a pound.
3,800.
Well, he doesn't say it
Ugh.
like that, though. He says he wants a good dog, not a lumpy dog.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
a diseased dog.
Lumpy, bitey
Sorry,
dog.
but the bred
Yeah.
ones are the ones who die randomly of weird defects.
Yeah,
Are
but
they
they
bald?
die young.
But I will say,
I like a dog.
Oh, he
that-
wants them to
that's
die young.
good dead.
Yeah, this
I'm
is-
like,
Oh
no,
my
you did
God.
it. You're an American hero.
this is a hot take, but I would rather have a beautiful dog for 1 minute than a lumpy dog forever. I would rather have a beautiful dog for 1 minute than a lumpy dog because now Caesar and Maggie are essing and peeing up
Yeah.
my house, and I am miserable.
Yeah. Oh, your lumpy dog? Oh, that's going to be...
it's terrible.
You know how like expensive lasers are?
It's
Like,
terrible. Caesar crafted
two
the house
lasers.
4 times yesterday.
You're giving it the shots,
Oh,
the pills.
big piles.
It
big
costs you about
piles.
$4,200 a month for a free dog. That'll work out.
I thought about just opening the door and just seeing where he'd go. And just opening the door and just like, I didn't see nothing.
All
If
right.
he just walks down the street, no collar. He's cute. Somebody get him. It'll be a better life. They can deal with it for a little bit.
Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.
Oh, thank you.
Welcome back to A Corporate Time with Tom and Dan. We've got a special guest on the line. Christrema is going to tell us about all the streaming shows she's been watching.
Wow, you just jumped right into it. Apparently, you don't want to play her award-winning
yeah.
intro that you always want to rocket right past. Why would you do that? You know that this guy poured his heart out to his girl. Spending time on the radio. I really like the Tom and Dan shows. See?
I'm such a hypocrite, too, because when the podcasts I listen to don't play the drops
You get
and
mad.
the intros.
Don't call them drops. That's what dumb radio hosts do.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's still a dumb old man.
Oh my God! I have to talk about that before we get to Christrema. Christrema, la la la, Christrema and Dan show.
It's horrible.
Everyone sing along.
There, Christrema, how you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
Good. Real quick, I got to rail on something. There's nothing that makes me more mad than when you're working for a radio host and the radio host doesn't know all of the technical terms for what you do, so they just call one word for everything. So Every host I worked for, up until the time where I guess I now share hosting with you, the host would say, hey, pull that drop, pull that drop, pull that drop, pull that. Everything's a drop. Any piece of audio is a drop.
Yeah.
That's not true. It's not true.
Right.
Not every little piece of audio is a goddamn drop.
Because we're above the nerds that do the computers, and so we have to belittle you a little bit by calling the things in the industry the wrong name to show that we're better than you and everybody.
It's your passive-aggressive plan. I see it. All right. You know what? I deserve that.
Yeah.
It's to keep us in check. Okay. I just needed to get that out. Okay.
I'll bitch about radio now.
Tom's turn.
I've been listening to
It's
some.
our segment. Damn it.
There's some podcasts out there.
Yeah, but last time I think sorry to interrupt. Last time we called him Christrema, I'm virtually certain she just said,
I don't care. Watch some TV.
Yeah. So these, I listen to some gambling podcasts, and they're a part of iHeartRadio. So they run iHeartRadio.
now number one for podcast. But we weren't. We just bought everything and say we're number one for podcast.
That's how business works.
Yeah.
So they're advertising their iHeart podcast awards or whatever.
Yes.
And-
With only podcasts that are new and have tons of money behind them.
And what's funny is that they begin because everything. And this is an old school radio thing, and it's still ingrained, even though that they're trying to do podcasts. Everything has to be the best and the most exciting and stuff. And it's so stupid to say that now. Because
We've got over 100 billion podcasts for you to listen to, all at the flick of a thumb.
And people probably will know what I'm talking about. The intro to this is like the night every podcast listener's been waiting for.
The 2021 Podcast Awards.
And I'm like, no podcast listener cares about that.
No.
Nobody.
We're not in it for the awards. That's a radio thing.
To say, the podcasts themselves are into it.
Yeah.
I mean, we're trying to promote ourselves. They all want to win it, but the actual listener could give an S.
Okay, this is a fun
Maybe
fact.
some, but what you saying? Every single podcast listener is the best
No.
night of their lives. The podcast award,
No, it's not a thing.
nobody cares.
No, nobody cares.
Who
Here's
won
another
last
thing.
year?
Nobody knows.
Nobody knows. No one cares.
Here's another thing. The podcast awards are lower and less relevant than the AVNs. The AVNs at least are real humans that have been working in pornography for years and years and grinding it out. This is nothing more than a let's create and throw money at it and then give awards to the thing we created and threw money at. It's lame.
Also, it's like, who has the best Toyota Corolla? It's like, all right, well, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. I mean, that one about the same.
I
mean,
like the blue one.
Isn't it subjective? Yeah. You
What
like
is that one? What's that, stone? I think it's like a stone
The
gray.
People's Choice Award for the Podcast Awards was And That's Why We Drink.
What is that?
That's actually a true crime murder
okay.
podcast.
Yeah, I
award.
don't-
Listen, I'm sure it's
I don't
great,
know, yeah.
but it's like at this
Sounds
point,
fantastic to
But
me.
a lot of the other ones I actually don't know. Podcaster Influencer of the Year 2021, Joe Rogan
Yes.
is third place.
Joe Rogan, third place.
How is that possible?
Yeah, well,
Shouldn't he be
that's-
first?
They don't know whether
Yeah.
they're no.
Amy
well,
Porterfield.
No,
They don't
listen,
wanna talk
listen.
about it 'cause it's on Spotify,
Yeah,
not on
Spotify. He ain't
iHeart.
iHeart. If
well,
he's
this is,
iHeart,
I'm sorry, this isn't iHeart. This is just Podcast Awards.
but I'm just saying.
from who?
Look,
Podcastawards.com.
Oh, we
yeah.
did that one. They're
Yeah.
all stupid. Anyway, let's go to Christrema's
Sorry.
thing. Sorry, Christrema. What are you streaming?
So this month, since it's almost Halloween, I know not everybody likes scary movies and things and shows, but I did pick all in that genre.
Yeah,
Okay.
I
So-
love it.
So one of the movies that I saw recently, it's fairly new. It came out a couple months ago. It's called *Malignant*. It's directed by James Wan. And I sought this one out because I really like James Wan. And it's got Annabelle Wallace in
James
it, who you
Bond
might know from
directed?
Peaky Blinders. And
Is that the ad I see on Facebook? Where
Malignant. That's a bad ad for me because I'm like, Malignant?
I call
I don't
it
want no Malignant. I
call-
want benign, bitch.
I call it "Girl Lays Down in Bloodbed."
Yeah, that's
It's
that's,
just,
Yeah, I guess.
It's a bloodbed.
that's like the cover. Yeah.
yeah.
And then Jenny McCarthy
I heard
did
Yeah,
it.
it's
that's the
really
cover.
good, but it's also kind of out there.
It is out there. Sam's right. It is totally out there, but it's a lot of fun.
That's the
and I
blood
won't give
naked
anything
lady?
away, but it's
Yeah.
yeah, it reminds me of. It's set in Seattle, so it's really atmospheric,
Lots
like
of
that
fish.
whole rainy Seattle, cold, And it's kind of a monster movie, sci-fi movie, which I wasn't really
Spoilers.
expecting, but it was
Me
a lot
either.
of fun.
Spoilers. And I guess
Oh, God.
I don't even know if I need to watch this.
That's a spoiler.
I had no idea there was a monster.
Is this like Shape of Water monster where you're banging the monster, or like the killing monster?
I won't give it away, but you'll know from the opening credits that it's like that. So I'm not.
Oh,
really
it'll be
giving it
like
away.
Mons
you'll
played the
know
monster,
it.
Danny DeVito.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
We've gone
So
too
that one was really, really good.
We've gone too far with what is considered a spoiler to the point where
Everything, even an opinion is a spoiler now.
you're like, I
No,
thought it was
seriously.
good. And you're like, spoiler.
Yeah, they do that with wrestling. Like wrestling guys are the worst about it too. They'll be
Yeah.
like, "Hey, did you watch Sudden Impact last night?" Or some one of these. They always have the name that's like Maximum Force. Did you watch Maximum Force last night? Yeah, I did. What'd you think of it? It was great. What? You ruined it for me now. I
Yeah.
know Undertaker got the belt.
The rules have changed. We live in a society where we all talk to each other simultaneously, instantaneously on the internet. So once it goes out,
It's
people
out.
are talking
Yeah,
about
it's
it,
out.
and that's it. So if you don't want something to be spoiled, you can't look on the internet. That's our society,
No,
right?
Yeah.
Like, they
Yeah.
stop yelling at everybody to stop talking about it and stop doing spoilers and just
Hold on.
adapt that you cannot look at the internet if you don't want something to be spoiled.
Well, but you control that. Malignant.
I know, that's what I
Malignant
mean.
sounds like my life. I just read. If I just replace certain things of what Samantha just typed.
Yeah. That's the
It says,
plot.
paralyzed by fear from shocking visions, a woman's torment worsens as she discovers her waking dreams are terrifying realities.
Yeah.
That's called Monday. Daniel's Monday. Right? Is this an anxiety thing? Is this going to freak me out? Or is she like a cuckoo bird?
I don't want to give anything
Okay,
away.
well, you
but
got
I
me.
think you'll
You
like
got-
It is fairly
It's fun.
recent.
She
movie.
got me because she kind of sold it in the fact that she backed off the spoilers.
Mike Aiello was a big fan of it.
Yeah, and he look, man, he's got great choices in films. The guy knows
Him
horror.
and Crespo
and-
commented on it, and so I'm
Yeah.
like, all right, I'll give it a shot.
Yeah, if Mike Aiello's watching it, chances are it's good. I gave him my pick for that samurai movie, the Rurouni Kenshin, and he loved it. So I'm on mark with that one. It's called The Beginning. It's on Netflix. Very, very good samurai movie.
you know what? I'm about to eliminate spoilers, and we're going to talk about everything because like this.
What happened to him last night? Did you
I
get
don't
sleep or
know.
something? He's all horny today.
No,
Oh, B
Oh.
stuff.
no, because
This is horny,
'Cause
Tom.
this is new.
This is new, dude. You're a new human being today.
now I'm getting mad at everything.
Why?
Wait a minute, that's my bit. You can't steal my bit. You're cool with everything.
Because people are
He
out
went
there.
from trying to understand joy to full anger.
maybe his joy is full anger.
That's, you know what?
That's
You might be
terrifying.
onto something.
Because
That's
people are
terrifying.
out there like, don't talk about the things you watch because I haven't watched it. Who cares about you? You think you're more important than the rest of us? We want to talk about something we watched. Do you go watch it or don't look at us talk? Don't listen to the show.
If you said that to your
You
son,
can't
they would
listen to
melt
nothing!
cry. I told you. This is terrifying.
Well, I'm paid to be here, so.
Well, if you pay, then I don't know. I got to figure all that part out.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly are you yelling at? Me or
Because
Sam?
I didn't
Well-
want to hear the Malignant stuff because I haven't watched it yet. And
Yeah,
he's,
well-
now he's yelling that I can't look at him talk.
Well, I got to figure out the semantics of all the
Oh.
details.
Sign up for my Patreon.
That's a good drag queen name. Malignant.
Yeah, because
Right?
I guess ruining it in a conversation with us.
My other
it's
drag
like-
queen name
but
I
it's
thought
like,
of yesterday was Ammonia Begonias. Isn't that a great drag queen name?
it's pretty good.
I'm Ammonia Begonias.
Maybe we have to give it
Pungent but beautiful.
a week after it came out or something. There's got to be some standard.
been
of
out
No,
Time.
but everybody's standard. It's like school standardization. Good luck. Seminole County and Orange County are all different. It's all different.
Yeah.
Some people, like I got some people in a nerd group. In our nerd group, I think Ken gives it like a month, or it's like 3 weeks or something. Like everybody's got a different
Maybe
goalpost.
okay.
Like
maybe you could ask in the post of like, hey,
Everybody spoil Squid Game right now for Tom because he just started it.
That's-
It's been out more than a week.
oh,
I don't.
I'll spoil it for him right now off the air. I'll
You
turn
think-
off the mics. I'll say one thing though.
No, he said
but
just don't listen to us if you
I
don't
don't-
want to get spoiled.
I I do not get anything spoiled. I do not.
I don't either.
You think I get my feelings hurt? I'm a baby. If you tell me the end of some
I
Squid
can
Game,
read
I'll
the
still
ending.
watch
You
it
know
and
what I
enjoy
do?
it just as much.
He's right.
I'll show you.
I read the ending
not a
of things-
baby.
I read the ending of things to see if I like the ending, and then I'll watch it. He knows I do this.
Yeah, well, this is kind of insane.
It
I've
is-
always
it's
thought
very
that was insane.
I will read it and I'll be like, "Yep, that's the way it should be done." Then I'll watch it and be like, "Confirmed." And then it's weird, dude. It's weird. It is so weird. And if I read it and I go, "I don't like the way they're ending that," then I won't watch it.
It's just I'm kind of just fighting against the everything's a spoiler because we went too far. It's like, all right, if you tell me at the end of Sixth Sense that Bruce Willis was dead the whole time, that was a legitimate spoiler, right? Because
It's the big reveal.
You know
the
what
big
I
reveal.
hate?
But
I
you
hate
say like,
people that
hey, there's a ghost in it, and or anything like that. Like, oh, don't tell me. Like, get the hell out of here with it. Because like, if it's in the trailer, it's not a spoiler.
You know what I hate?
No, yeah.
And I always get him confused with country music's Billy Gilman. But I hate that.
Billy Gilman.
Remember Billy Gilman?
Yeah, I haven't
came
heard
out
that
as
name
gay,
in
too.
forever.
In like 2011, I think Billy
No
Gilman came
idea.
out as gay. And then he kind of faded off. But I always get Billy Gilman confused with Haley Joel Osment, or Osment, whatever.
Really?
Yeah, I always get them confused. And you know what I hate almost more than anything are people that watched Sixth Sense back in the day. And now it's been enough time. It's been like 20 years. So they're like, yeah, I remember watching it. I figured it out. No, you didn't.
No, you didn't.
No, you did not. You're lying. You're lying because you feel like it's been enough time where you can say that and you're going to elevate yourself and make yourself smarter than me. And you're a goddamn liar. Chris Trema.
Don't spring the spoilers on someone, but it's like when my wife was giving birth. You could blur your eyes out enough or just not look straight at it.
I couldn't blur it.
And
It was already blurred.
No,
the God had
you
blurred
look-
it enough. It was
Blurred
blurred.
lines.
Completely. It was blurred.
So I don't want to spoil the end of Squid Game for myself. I just watched it.
I hate
First
the
episode
name.
was
It's
good.
really the only thing I hate is Squid Game because that should be like somebody squidding your,
But I'm sure there's a lot of spoilers out there on the internet. I could just scroll past it. If I like any Squid Game talk,
I have
just,
to do that quite a bit. Yeah.
I don't have to look at it. I don't have to jump in and yell at the person for spoiling it. Like I just scroll past. Like you can actively not look at something, right? Like you don't have to.
I have to look at it, bro.
I can't look away.
and
there
have
are
to look
people
at
that
it and
say
then
that.
yell at the person
Yeah.
for spoiling it. It's like, no, you don't.
There are people that feel like they need to do that. Okay, what
Sorry.
else are you watching, Chris Trema?
Well, first, you can only watch that one on HBO Max. You
Yeah.
have to have, like, the commercial-free one. So
Okay.
the next one, I found a lesser-known horror movie, and the reason I was reminded of it is because I watched Midnight Mass, and the actress that's in this lesser-known movie is in Midnight Mass. Have you guys checked out Midnight Mass on Netflix?
I have not. I think Butler watched Midnight Mass.
Oh, I have watched. I haven't
Okay,
finished it on Mike Aiello's recommendation
Uh-huh.
again. This one's got so many interwoven, truly creepy, rooted in fact Catholicism ties that if you're scared of The Exorcist, like it is the most terrifying movie to me. I have always said The Exorcist. I must have watched it at the right time. I was raised in the church. You guys know how much my mom liked God or loved God.
Yeah.
So if you have some of your life rooted in that, these type of movies for me are terrifying, and this thing is straight terrifying. It's
And
really
yeah, and
good.
Daniel, I'm with you 100% on
It's-
The Exorcist. I watched it when I was 8.
Yes.
It totally got to me, too.
And
So, yeah,
do you
this
think
one
that
really
Midnight
scared me.
Mass is not? Do you not think that this thing is crazy bananas scary? I think it's super scary.
Well, now I want to watch.
Yes,
It's been
I
on my
find
list,
it super
but-
scary. And my friend told me about it, and he's actually a practicing Catholic.
Yes.
So he was like, "Oh, I wish you were watching this," so that we were like texting back and forth. And
Yes.
I made the mistake of starting it when my husband was on a retreat, so he was gone for the night, and so I couldn't go down in my basement while the whole time he was gone. I mean, it really spooked me. But yeah, I think if you're not, I don't know if it'll have the same impact if you weren't raised in the church or don't know about those kind of things, because it does touch on that.
It's heavy.
It's
Yeah.
the same vein. It's very heavy, but I did like the whole thing. I liked the ending. I love Mike Flanagan. Every year he's come out with a series. Like last year it was Haunting of Bly Manor, which I thought was blah, and then he did The Haunting of Hill House. So it seems like I hope he continues to do it because he comes out with one of these things. But Midnight Mass is completely different than Haunting of Hill House. I've never seen anything like
It's
it.
dark.
And the way he filmed it, it's very dark, and you really like the characters too. Like, it's so character driven. Like, I actually cared about the people. It's not just to jump scare you it's got it all. It's
Yeah,
really
yeah.
good.
Their
But one
character
of the-
development is
yeah.
good, and then the opening scene, that one where I don't think I'm spoiling anything with the cat
Oh,
with the cats.
gosh, yeah, that stuck with me.
Yeah,
Oh.
it's one of these things where I'm not spoiling anything by saying that, but like it's just the sheer scope of the tale they're attempting to tell here. You realize that you're diving into something super complicated. It's cool, really well done.
You know what I'm mad at? The Catholic Church. And
Wow.
and
A
not
lot of
for
people
the
are
lot of
mad at
people.
that.
not
Yeah.
for the reasons you
Get in
think.
line, buddy.
I'm not, all the pedophile stuff, whatever. I'm
That's
like,
fine for you?
No, it's not fine.
Oh.
I just, it's expected.
He puts it in a different folder. He's like, "We'll get to that."
Yeah.
We'll
Like
get to
that.
that.
I'm mad at their marketing because their marketing is horrible because they never made themselves current.
You don't really need marketing though, because it's how you're raised within your family, right? You don't really see people convert to Catholicism as they're older.
Yeah, they it's like multi-level marketing. You use other people to induct you, or whatever. Blah. You get an army of.
Well, you don't have a choice.
The popes
Your
at the
parents
top, yeah.
force you to go
True.
to Catholic church and school.
And it's like they relied on the whole if you don't believe in us, we'll go to hell thing. So that
Yeah.
that
It's still
helped
out
them.
there.
But still, the way they dress and what they do still is bizarro and creepy and weird, right?
Yeah, the little
You're-
the hats and robes.
Yeah, you're in a whole robe with smoke ball and the whole thing. It's like
Smoke ball's cool though.
and you're
Yeah.
doing your own.
It's cool when Ghost does it. When
It's
Ghost
like, what
does
the
it,
hell
Dancing
is
in
happening?
hands.
What are you? We all have iPhones and we're here doing this. This is bizarre. This is
tradition, bro.
weird.
Yeah, those rituals, Tom, come into it,
they do.
Well,
into the show, and it.
They go
Well,
through
that's what I
this.
mean.
No,
It's
you might like
spooky
that.
and
No,
weird.
Then you're gonna like this because
It's like, why would I want to join this? What is going on here?
I think you and your wife would like this then because it touches on all of that. So
Yeah.
if I were you, I would maybe cue it up. It's good.
Well, it's like you were doing this 200 years ago,
But that's
and
what
you're
makes
doing
it
the same thing.
and that doesn't make it spooky to you.
It does.
It's spooky that a man is wearing the same 200-year-old red hat and he's got a smoke. You're right. It's spooky.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I'm mad at the marketing because if anybody
if he
would-
had a flat brim and maybe a laser, he was
It's like-
shooting laser smoke at me. That's
well,
cooler.
We just got to market this whole thing differently because you're scaring everybody away. Not even the threat of going to hell is making people come. You're scaring everybody. And then you got the
Or
pedophiles.
scare people to it.
and then now we get to the pedophiles.
All right. What else do we got?
So it reminded me when I watched that, there's an actress that's in it. Her name is Alex Esso, and she was in a movie that came out in 2014 that you can see on Tubi, Amazon Prime. I think it's on Peacock, but it's called Starry Eyes. And the movie is about this actress. She's a young woman in Hollywood trying to go to auditions and get parts and everything. And she's like with a group of friends, and she ends up finding a way to sort of make it to the top and really break out in her career. And it's one of those movies it's more body horror, which is, I don't know if y'all are familiar with that, but it's more of a horror movie that there's a transformation that occurs, like kind of like Werewolf in London was like that, or any movie where it's just a creepy body transformation, and
The
it's
Fly.
so well done. Yes, The Fly is a perfect
This
example.
looks pretty good.
So
My
it's called
600
Starry
pound
Eyes.
life. My 600-pound life.
So
My friend's gonna be
I
on
haven't
that
seen that.
this season.
But that's a horrifying
really?
body
Yeah.
transformation, right? Like when they do that.
no, it's slow, real slow.
It's real
like,
slow.
The Fly, your ear falls off like one day.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh my God.
Like
and
as
then
soon as
got
you walk out
fly
of
legs
the
real quick.
you walk out of the thing, you're looking around, you're like, where's Gina Davis or whoever was in that? I forget who's in there. You're looking around and you look down and you don't have a ween anymore.
yeah.
You got an abdomen. You got a thorax. I think that's what that's called.
Yeah.
A thorax.
Yeah. My 600-pound life started one corn dog at a time. I'm sorry. Gland problem. Next movie.
So that one. So I'd recommend that one. And then the last, I have this guilty pleasure I want to tell you guys about. I've been watching these paranormal shows, but not the ghost hunting ones. I don't really like those that much. But
Don't
the
tell
ones
me
where
it's the
people
Demi
tell their
Lovato one.
You know, there is a fun fact that most of the people
Oh, I heard about that.
most of the people on the Ghost Hunter shows eventually become members of the My 600-Pound Life shows. It's a
Ooh,
spinoff.
That makes sense.
It's a spinoff.
But I like the ones. I like to hear people tell stories of things that have happened to them. I listen to podcasts all the time. I enjoy that. But there's a new one, or it's fairly new. It's called Hotel Paranormal, and it's narrated by Dan Aykroyd. And it's all people that have had different things happen at hotels they've stayed at.
Dan Aykroyd
and
hates Ross
Pretty good.
and us.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, he hates us so bad. He was so mean to Ross, and it hurt my feelings when he did that. I felt so bad for Ross. It was not fair.
It made me like Aykroyd a little bit more.
I had the opposite response.
Only because he handed a business
It
card
made me
to
and Ross mad as F.
his manager, and his manager just took it and put it right in the trash in front of him. I was like, I like that.
Didn't we
Good
try
for
to
you,
get it?
Aykroyd.
Weren't we going to try and get him to sign a bottle of
His vodka
the
or
vodka, and
whatever.
he wouldn't do it?
No, I think he signed it. He wouldn't do the show or like a. Or
I thought he threw a card away or something. He threw Ross's card in the trash.
I think you had to pay.
Right in
I
front
thought
of
you had to pay to get it signed. Ross ain't going to pay for that. And I don't
Right.
blame him.
Yeah.
I don't blame him at all. I wouldn't have done it. And then I thought he handed a card. Well, anyway, maybe you can. And then the guy was like, "And bye-bye," right in the trash.
Christrema, do you have any belief in ghosts at all? And before you answer, if you say yes, I will think less of you.
I know. I am interested in like things that are paranormal, meaning like we don't know what they are, what they mean, or we don't have, an explanation for. I'm not going to sit here and say I 100% believe in ghosts, but I am going on a ghost tour this coming weekend.
Why do people go?
That's just a drink beer.
It's
She doesn't
fun.
drink anymore.
It's
How
fun.
dare you?
If there aren't any,
You're going and not drinking?
Yeah, if there
That's
aren't
crazy.
if there aren't any ghosts, why do you go to a ghost tour? If there's no such thing,
It's like
It's the storytelling.
it's like
It's
Don
fun.
Price.
Because I don't know. I don't know there's no such thing.
you
and
know
I
what
like
you
the
should do?
stories, like
You should
Sam said.
write the tour and ask them if they could type out the story so you can preview them beforehand to see if you want to go.
Listen,
Well, I read a lot of reviews. It's supposed to be good.
a lot of it though is funny because
Is it an old man with a three-corner hat?
a lot of ghost tours are literally just history.
His story.
God damn it.
Well, that's fancier history. It's
It
his
is.
story. Hey, let me tell you, you don't want history. You want the fancy. It's called a history.
It's his story.
History.
God damn it.
Not her story.
Anyway,
Exactly.
But it's all just like a history tour where they tell you what happened, and they may say someone died here, or a lot of people died in an old building, right?
Well-
Like, and then, but it's not. But that's it. It's just a history tour. right?
died here. History.
Most of them are just like historical tours of a city.
Yeah,
and,
but
like,
then they
old
also
buildings.
recount stories and sightings of that people have
Yeah.
claimed
Yeah,
allegedly happened.
But we know those didn't happen because there's no such thing as ghosts.
That's your opinion, man.
So we can assume that these people are stupid because they're
No.
leaning into believing something that we know does not exist.
Or you hallucinated. I don't.
yeah, you're drunk.
It's like I believe you saw the UFO. I'm thinking to myself, you saw something that's
Well, the government's already told us that those exist. So
Well, no, they're saying that they didn't.
Unidentified
they said,
objects.
They said
yeah,
they
that's
can-
what a UFO is.
I- well,
they're
no.
saying they can't identify the object.
Correct.
I can do that all day long. I don't know where I'm supposed to be right now. Like I tell that to my wife. I'm like, I don't know what I'm doing today.
Yeah.
That doesn't mean that I've concrete evidence
But
of
I,
something good.
But I get it. The ghosts, all that.
I think that people that claim to see ghosts are dumb.
Well, why
What
would you
about
say
like people
what we're
that
all
hear weird
thinking?
noises and there's no explanation for it? There's lots of stories of people that have, and there's police officers that are involved and other people who are
Well,
professional.
police
Well,
officers,
now
just
you-
because a
I
police
don't
officer
know.
doesn't mean like police
Well, yeah.
officers do bad stuff and they lie too.
I know, but
And-
I'm just saying it gives it more credibility.
And
Sometimes
be-
there's weird
because
things.
why do you jump to supernatural when you can't understand what's going? That's
Like,
what
for
ancient
instance,
humans
we-
did. They're like, the sun must have done this.
We had a real life, for instance, in here. We had a
We
moment.
angered the sun gods, and now we have an eclipse.
Yeah, we don't want Raw on our back.
We got to kill the virgin.
Yeah, we had a version of this happen today. We had Samantha thought a ghost walked into the bathroom.
No, I didn't think it was a ghost. I thought it was one of these construction workers.
Samantha thought that
I was like, they're coming to get us,
an
or it's Charlie
unpaying
Murphy.
BDM member had snuck into our bathroom, and it was just your wife.
Yeah, she freaked out. She's like, "Who's in the bathroom?"
I walked out. I saw Dan was sitting here. I'm like, well, it's not Dan.
She was
There's
doing the
Tom.
math.
Yeah, I was
She's
doing the math.
counting
Because
heads.
you guys don't pay attention to nothing.
No,
We're gonna get
I
killed
don't
in
know.
here.
When someone
I
walks,
think sometimes I'm in the bathroom right here and I start pooping in my chair.
Oh no.
I know.
anything else, Katrina?
One more quick one. I wasn't going to mention this, but since everybody likes Squid Games and you guys are watching the dubbed version, I take it, or are you
I
reading
haven't
the
started it
subtitles?
yet.
I'm watching both,
unfortunately.
like the
Oh, okay.
with both.
I started off
Well, there-
with the like in the Korean language subtitled, and I quickly searched for just getting it dubbed in English because I'm too lazy. And
You can get it read in any celebrity you want. I've been listening to Squid Game Snoop Dogg.
Nice.
and I preferred it dubbed, even though it's not 100%, but it's better than it used to be. I will tell you that. Like it looks like they
Yeah.
actually made an effort to, like and I wondered if this was true, like the lip syncing guys on the internet, where they make it seem like through their mouth movements that they're saying certain words. I wonder if they do a little bit of that when they dub. Like
I think they try to fit, from what I read, because I thought it was pretty good. But again, I think I'm in the minority of people that like the dub. I think they try to match the length of time to the English length of time. So if the Korean phrase is, like, for instance, one of the main characters, they start with the destitute dude who's got the mom who needs the treatments and stuff. Like that guy, if he said, like, "Nah, mom, I'm not going to get that job," he said that in Korean first, and then they were like, okay, the premise is that he needs to get a job. We have 3 seconds, so we need to fit a slang English version in this that's 3 seconds long. That's how I think they did it.
Okay, yeah.
They rate for idea, not for perfect phrasing.
Gotcha, yeah.
Which
Seems really hard, but
you know what I thought about? Like, this is a high thought, but I thought it'd be a fun job because I think I'm good at paraphrasing.
Yeah.
And I'm good at, like, through, like, knowing college and trying to win, and write good papers and stuff. I was really good at reading books and then just really barfing out exactly what I read, but in a different way, so I didn't get plagiarized. There's no plagiarism there.
Yeah.
So it sounds kind of fun to be able to go in there and like try to fit it in there. It's like a puzzle almost.
It's better than the old school dubbing used to be, where they stop talking and then the person
Still
would
going,
continue.
Yeah. I think they try to fit
Yeah.
it in the length, and that's just psychology. That's your brain going, oh, his mouth stopped moving, he's done talking, and it just makes for an easier watch, I believe. Oh my God, there is a
or
murderer
if
in
they
a door.
would cuss and then they what?
No, there's like a
They're
man.
coming for me.
There's a man standing at Samantha, right behind Samantha's desk.
Creepy. I've already creeped myself out today. Okay,
I love
so there's
History
one
Month.
called Don't Listen, and it's a Spanish one, but it's dubbed, but it's good. But before I let you guys go, if it's okay, I just want to tell my husband I love him and I'm very proud of him. He's doing awesome at his new job, and he does a lot for us.
What is this, your personal Hallmark
This
card?
is her shout out.
What are you, some kind of personal homo? What are you doing? Why would you say that?
I can't say Hallmark
You can't
card.
say Hallmark card?
It
It's
screwed
not a
me
homo
up.
card.
You can't say that.
And he did not want to do that song. I crowed at him for days before he did that.
Good. I like
Well,
it.
you do.
I like it. Why is your arm all scratched up?
Ghost.
Crystal asked me the same thing, and I
Oh,
was
you're
like,
cheating.
"Yeah." she's
That
like,
is
"What
some
is that?"
Tom Anger sex you had
No.
during the lunch.
She's like, "What is that scratch?" And I'm like, "I don't have no idea."
It's a
and
ghost.
then she's
They
like,
got you in the middle of the night.
"Well, that sounds suspicious." And I'm like,
Yeah,
"What?
I agree with her.
What are you like cheating? Who scratches your arms?"
You
while
hold,
you're
on,
cheating?
you hold on tight.
Whenever
No,
I
hold
get
on.
whenever I get a mouth whenever I get mouth from a good street woman, I ask for the arm scratches.
Yeah, everybody knows that.
Are the scratches in 3?
Are there 3 of them there? How
Is
many
this-
got?
No, just one
Just
long
one.
scratch.
Well, she had a hook for a hand.
Oh my God.
Don't laugh at that.
Urban
Dude,
legends.
you're a mess today. You're 100% a mess today, Tom. You're all over the place.
By the way, if it was a street woman, I'd be like, "Don't touch me."
What, you just want to...
Well, just with your mouth.
Just
Just with the hook.
I'm like, "Don't get your dirty fingers away
no,
from
no,
me."
don't touch me. Just hot breath. Just hot breath. No real touching. Hot breath to the left, hot breath to the right.
Can I put a sandwich bag in your mouth?
Oh my God. Now we know what he's into. We're getting into Tom's kinks.
Just for protection. Anyway. All right, Kastrima, thanks.
Oh, man.
What is your
Thank you guys. Love you guys.
What's
We
your
love
husband's new job?
We love you, too. Yeah, what's
Chipotle?
He do? What's he... Oh, man. What?
I don't want to say too much, but
Spoilers.
Chipotle.
what can I say?
I don't want to say too much, but it rhymes with breath be bry.
I did not actually understand that one.
FBI.
Oh.
He's in a pastoral type position. We'll just say that.
A hospital type.
But he's not an actual pastor. But he
Midnight
works
Mass.
for a church.
Oh, my
Hold
God.
on.
Hold on, you're
Full
putting me
circle.
on.
I know what he is now because I've seen the end of that show. I know what happens, and I know
Uh-oh.
what that guy's all about. No spoilers.
All right, we'll talk to you next month.
All right, be good.
All right. Love you guys.
Love you too.
Bye-bye.
Be good.
All right.
Why every time when we hang up on somebody that does a segment for us, it's like a bad business deal? Every time.
I feel like I'm trying to close the elevator door on audio.
I try to close it before Chris Kammeyer gets on. I'm hammered. Like, go,
I see him parking. I'm like, oh!
Yeah, I don't want my boss on here. I don't want my boss on here. Or that's a fat guy that always farts.
And we're going to have to see him next month. And then we're like, but we're like, oh, don't look at him. So
You want to do some voicemails?
yeah.
Yeah, I can pop up a few while we're. Go ahead and finish your thought, though.
The Squid Game. So I started watching it since we're talking about shows last night. I watched episode 1 and it was good. Although it does follow, which you think like I was thinking about this the other day. Besides from Hunger Games, right? Mm-hmm. Has there been an adult like game show style movie?
Hunger Games weren't adults.
They were
Well,
like young
they were
adults.
kids. Teens.
No, but I'm just saying like a rated R.
Running Man.
Running Man style. Where Running Man was rated R, right?
Yes.
Or was it PG-13?
I'm going to say it was rated R.
Oh, The Hunted.
Is that Ice-T?
No.
What's the one with Ice-T where he's hunted?
Oh, what is that one?
By
I
the
saw
rich
that one
people.
too.
Surviving the Game.
Is
It
that
might be
it?
Surviving the Game.
But
yeah.
that's although that was an old movie too. I'm just saying
1994. Yeah.
This reminds me a
Recently.
lot of Battle Royale, and I owned that on VHS
Yeah.
or DVD back in the day. Like I think it was VHS. Like I had I still have a copy of Battle Royale. I love that movie, man. And Battle Royale 2, but I really liked 1.
because there's something that is alluring about getting a bunch of people, desperate people together and making them do a crazy twisted game for
Sorry, it's The Hunt.
The Hunt.
That came out last year. Remember, everyone was up in arms about it because they said it was
Yeah.
liberals
Political,
versus
Yes.
right wing.
And they were
but it's
like,
not really. I mean, it kind of is, but kind of isn't.
they were like killing off
But
conservative.
it's a horror comedy. Yeah.
So that was, but I'm saying that wasn't extremely or as popular as Squid Game is now.
No,
Well,
not
there was a
even
lot of
close.
controversy about it. So, and it went straight because of the pandemic. It didn't
Yeah.
come out in theaters. It went straight to, I believe, HBO or something.
It just when I watched it, I was like, oh yeah, this premise is like I like the premise. I don't know. There's
I
something
like the premise though.
of like people
I
doing a
am-
twisted game for their lives or whatever.
I like it too, though. I am. This is me. It resonates better with me where you have a smattering of violence, but you leave a bit of it up to the imagination without necessarily showing me every kill shot of every participant. You know what I mean? Like that
Yeah.
gets a little egregious to me. Like it becomes so heavy that I'm like, I didn't need to see that. Like I like how they handle like it's good, but if they pulled back on the violence a little bit, I wouldn't be hurt.
yeah.
I don't need to see people die. It's okay to have them die. That's fine.
Yeah.
I don't think I need to see blood, like brains flying out of the back of your head every time. So I get a little weirded out by that.
Yeah.
I don't know why.
Oh, there's the movie Would You Rather.
I think for the most though, people like that extreme gore.
I'm not at all anti it really. It's just like for me,
too much for you personally.
yeah, it is. It's just a little heavy for me. Like I like it where they don't necessarily lean on that. Because also in this, I think some of the shots I've seen, some of them I can see how fake it is. You know what I mean? Like some of them aren't good. Some of them are great CGI. Some of them I'm like, oh, that looks like
another
After
one that
Effects,
is,
like something I could
everyone
do.
says if you like the Squid Games, you should watch Alice in Borderland. Have you heard of that one?
Absolutely, yes.
I haven't. What is that one about?
So it says it follows a video game enthusiast and his two friends who mysteriously find themselves in a parallel Tokyo where they're forced to play various games to survive. Unlike Squid Game, the challenge is solving problems rather than competing against others, and once the games start, they keep coming.
Is that on Netflix?
Yes.
Okay.
I mean, that's been a genre for a while. My wife asked me a very good question that I don't understand. Maybe we can research it and flesh it out on the show. She asked me why it seems like South Korea is obsessed with movies about young people banding together to compete against each other to the death for sums of money or freedom or whatever. And I go, I don't know. Because that isn't a genre that we really have here, is it? I mean, that is considered more of a South Korean thing, a Korean that is.
Hunger Games did it, and we did it with
Lord of the Flies.
But I think it was done
Purge,
before that in
Battle Royale.
It seems like in Battle Royale though that they keep pumping them out. The other thing I would say is
Is
it
that
also,
Japanese?
It
Battle
also
Royale?
Battle Royale is Korean, I think,
Oh, it's
as
Korean
well.
too. Okay, yeah.
It also, it's one of those things where these type of games are very popular online. You know, these games where it's like you against everybody, and you go out there and you get your
What was
guns.
it, like Maze Runner?
Well,
No, I
like-
mean it's around, but I think maybe just because of the culture, right? It's more oppressive over there, and so it's like an opportunity. In order
They
to get
also-
an opportunity, you have to fight for it.
Or maybe it's like a some sort of
It's like
art meets real life, where you're like, hey, there's people that have control and make you do the things you want. They still have the North Korean influence, right? It's like they lived a life where, you know, it wasn't that long ago where they had a dictator and
Sure.
they had to live under their rules.
Perfect example. Someone said in the chat, Saw. Those Saw movies were all like challenges
Can't
and
do
games and
those,
stuff.
Yeah, okay, yeah, you're
Yeah, I
right.
And they
Saw.
were like 8 of those.
Yeah, you're right. Saw. This is the version of Saw.
Well, it is, but my point is they still have this formula. I'm not saying we haven't done it, but I'm saying primarily as soon as somebody said, "Hey, there's this new movie out where there's a bunch of teens or young people that are destitute, down on their luck, they have to play these games to the death," I immediately went Korea. I'm like, oh, it's got to be a Korea thing.
Yeah.
It stereotypically, it is something that they very much enjoy. And I'm just trying to figure out why that's become the case. Somebody in the chat room said something interesting. They're like, it's like us versus them, like almost Korea versus the world, maybe. And maybe that's underlying, that's how they feel. So maybe they gravitate towards those type of like self-perseverance style movies.
I think it has to have an influence with like the fact that they were a dictatorship and like
Sure.
still half of the North Korea is still living in this crazy dictatorship with crazy rules that is kind of like that dystopian type of deal.
Oh, Battle
So-
Royale is Japanese. Interesting. Well, Asian people love some damn fight to the death and then they love to mask up the villain, and I like all of that. I support all of this, and I support all the people that are pumping out 3D printed masks of the main dude from Squid Game. Well done. That's very cool.
Maybe it is like it's kind of a representation of like a Kim Jong-un sitting there and watching
Oppressing them. And,
watching what
Okay.
he's doing.
That's what I
with
wanted
his
to do,
army, and the regular people are fighting to survive.
now
It's
we're doing it.
There's
That's what-
got to be some sort of correlation with that. The Americans don't really have that much of a connection.
We
to.
enjoy it, but secondary to what their origin story is.
We like it
Yes.
with prisoners when the prisoners fight for their lives. Kind of like no, seriously, like that was the premise behind the Running Man or whatever.
Oh, Running Man.
It was like
the show Prison Break was all about that. Wentworth Miller,
like
right?
prisoners fighting to the death for their freedom. We get that. We don't understand like the general oppression, because we never had that close of an experience.
Did not
with it.
grow up in that.
My one complaint.
Unless you're Native American.
Well, you know what I'm saying. A lot of people.
Well, you're not going to register
speaking
to
as
fight
a
for the country that way either. You know,
old white guy.
You're not going to matter at all.
My one complaint, and I'm not spoiling anything. I'm just going to leave this very generic.
This is your Squid Game complaint
Yeah.
from
And
Daddy
this
Plant,
is-
from the
yeah,
Plant
yeah.
Daddy.
Squid plaint.
When mysterious smoke starts coming out of everywhere, right?
Put your shirt over your face.
Why don't the people hold their breath until they can't anymore?
Right.
Because why? Like, what's this? And they're still breathing. Like, hey, if mysterious smoke starts coming out of anywhere where I'm standing next to it, first thing I'm doing is holding my breath until I figure out what the hell is happening.
told Andrea-
I'm not breathing it in.
I told Andrea, you don't get in the van with the dead people.
Well, but that's even like, it's like they're asleep, or when the smoke starts coming, hold your breath and then start fighting your way out. Like, make them hold you down and then tickle you until you take a breath.
I make them do that at the
You know what I'm
dentist.
saying?
No BS. I make them do that at the dentist. I fight I'm like, I make them hold me down until they finally get me calm. Then they do the work, and that way I know everything's going to be above board.
When the smoke comes out, hold your breath.
So you're only
Just for a little bit.
Are you only on episode 1?
Yeah.
Okay. What did wife think? Is she in?
Yeah. We were both in.
Okay,
we were
cool.
both going to watch the rest of the series.
I also started
It's
watching
good.
a new series called Acapulco. I stared watching that, Sam, on
Okay.
Apple TV. It's pretty good, but it's very light. It's about a young boy whose dream is to work at a Mexican in Acapulco, a Mexican resort that is owned by a weight loss lady, like a Slim Fast lady.
Oh,
It's a
man.
comedy. It's funny. Everything's in the 90s. They lay heavy on the nostalgia, but it's
Sounds like heavyweights.
it's an easy. Well, it's not about the weight loss. It's more about being a pool boy and like what you would have to do to super serve your all white clientele if you grew up in Mexico. And it's good. Yeah, it's cool. And it's like they do some subtitles when he's speaking Spanish, but the majority of it's in English. It's good. I really like it.
You know what the genre that I really like, and I'm surprised it took this long to happen, but there's going to be a lot more of this, and I'll call it the Ted Lasso effect. They figured out how to make a generally kind of corny, heartwarming show with good writing and still curse and, you know what I'm saying?
And do real stuff.
And keep it more adult but corny at the same time. And we've never done this because traditionally it's always been a network or something where you couldn't curse. And then I know we started like letting cursing fly somewhere, but usually if there's cursing that's prevalent, it'll be more adult themed heavy, like more heavy topics. Ted Lasso never gets into heavy topics at all, keeps the cursing, and that's a new thing that I've never seen really before this popular, and I'm sure will happen more and more, where it's like it could still be kind of corny, heartwarming, nothing harsh. That's a thing too. With people's anxiety, they want something that's not as heavy.
Well, they handle anxiety really well in Ted Lasso.
Still adult.
Like as a man who suffers from anxiety, when I see the anxiety attacks in Ted Lasso, I think they're spot on. At least for me, because anxiety is going to manifest itself in different ways for different people. But when I see that, they do a really nice job. But they don't linger on it too much. They don't make him too sad. But they do show you the reality of it. Acapulco, that show on Apple TV, I would put it in the same vein, and I would also use it to validate your argument. Apple TV has figured out that not everybody wants to do hyperviolence, and not everybody wants to do true crime or suspense or any of that. They do want good writing, but they also want something that's a little bit light. Because I don't know if you've looked outside lately, a little heavy. So the Acapulco show, they do some funny, corny jokes like the dad is telling the son like his life story. So there are parts that he's recounting his tale, and he met this girl, and he says it's the most beautiful girl he ever met. The kid asks, "Is that my mom?" He's like, "Yeah." So he's like, "Immediately I kissed her," and the kid's like, "Really?" And he's like, "Wait," and then they have to go back in the memory, and he's like, "Of course I didn't kiss her," and then like actually revise history.
Do they curse at all?
Yeah,
okay.
Absolutely. Yeah. It's very adult. I wouldn't watch it with Maisie, but it's light. Yeah, it's almost like easy listening. Yeah, it's like the genre of music that's easy listening, but they did it or adult contemporary. They did it where you still get what you want, but it's not heavy enough to ruin your night.
I believe there's going to be a lot more of that because
you have to be a smart writer to do it. If you don't, if you're not a smart writer, it won't land.
Because
it'll just be boring.
I think every time someone goes more adult, they go heavy and stressful, which you don't have to. You could be adult light like this, where
I don't like.
It doesn't have to be like the topics don't have to be so heavy and stressful and stuff like. But I think that's where writers went to. Historically, because they're like, oh, adult,
people like
drama. We curse. They want the whole thing. Give this person cancer. This person's a hateful bigot, or whatever. It's like you don't have to do any of that. It could be you could curse and then have a,
and it's been a long,
good positive message.
We got like a second here, but it's been enough time where we can talk about it, I think. But I got to tell you that the Ted Lasso is the single that last episode, the finale. Is one of the single most triggering episodes of television I've ever watched. I don't think I've ever been that mad.
Oh, really?
I honestly, I like to lean in on shows that I enjoy. I like to lean in on the emotional aspect of it because it feels good.
Yeah.
And I don't think I've ever been that mad. I don't necessarily want to say the scene or what happened, but man, I was hot. I was like, they got me back. They pulled me back in with that. They got me. Good writing.
Yeah, they. It seems like they have a decent writing team there.
I think Sudeikis actually is a writer, right? And it was originally planned to end next season. It's supposed to only do 3 seasons. So it'll be interesting to see what they do.
I was going to say, have they announced that they're going to do more now that it's popular?
Or
do you think they're going to stick to the 3?
Okay, this is maybe this is a hot take. I hope they keep it at 3. I hope they do 3 and then they're out.
So you hope it's done?
Yeah, because I don't.
Why would you hope?
You don't want it to get bad.
I don't want it to get bad, and they scared me with that.
Yeah, Sudeikis is a writer.
Yeah, well, at least give them a chance.
Oh yeah. Whatever they do, they're gonna do. But I'm just saying, if they said 3, that means that the 3-season ending is perfect.
I think most of the actual actors are writers as well. On Ted Lasso.
Yeah, I read an article with the character
good.
Nate.
Jason Sudeikis, Brett Goldstein.
Office
Brendan
did
Hunt.
that, and I think it helped them a lot because they know their characters the most.
It's your thing. It's hive mentality. So you got everybody on set thinking about continuity, right? You got the guy that plays Nate one of the most problematic characters on the show. That guy, he's the one that suggested that if you go back and watch from episode 1 of season 1 all the way till now, every episode they were hand painting in more pieces of gray. Every episode.
Oh, yeah.
Hand
I
painting
noticed
them.
that.
They started in like about the 4th episode of season 1. You'll start seeing more of it. And then if you follow it, every show, it'll get more. And it's just him like kind of.
It was like watching a real life EJ.
Yes.
Bye-bye.